in Dota since he switched to position 5. Like he always finds a way to salvage the lane. And 3-3 and Snaking are two very good laners, so this is gonna be like a big crash of two good sides.
Yeah, and sometimes he like Snaking is trying to decide like, should I be in the lane, should I be out of the lane? Like he's probably the best position for right now in terms of recognizing when it's best that he actually makes that rotation off. So then the question is, will they manage to find that big punish on the side of OG to actually like try and put 3-3 in a bad spot?
Yeah, and then of course we've seen Chen yesterday winning twice today. No-Tail playing that. Chen has been a hero that's not been doing too well in lanes, but No-Tail was able to make it work, and with his superior micro skills, able to stack 3 camps at once for several minutes, several times, time and time again. That's a lot of farm for Sumail to pick up as well. So even if the lanes don't go too well, I think that's something that you should be wary for. And maybe it's time to start banning out Chen. One thing that I also wanted to point out for this series is a little bit of a history between the two squads, or in particular between the two captains, No-Tail and Fata. They have played together in Cloud9, actually. They played at TI, and that was also they came top 12, which is not necessarily that good. At least the players won't say it's good. Obviously, we are still very much respecting that position, but that was cause for both of those players to say, you know what, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be part of a big organization. And then Farah went and created with the other guys 5 Jungs, which turned into Liquid and then Team Nigma now. And it was No-Tail that after that ordeal created Monkey Business, which of course turned into OG. So I thought that was a pretty interesting little bit of information here as we're preparing ourselves for the upper bracket finals. And when we're talking about, you talked about 33 being an offlane specialist on the Alchemist. Seb, of course, has had some great Axe performance as well. And I'm curious, we see it a lot in the first phase pick trend. Is that something that you're expecting to see this time around as well? Because I kind of think OG has also been out of the box a bit with their openings.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what Milan almost alluded to before too, right? Is like, now that they're showing more of these big strats that they have, and Tundra having the knowledge about some of these, like, what are the big bans? I'm not sure. Personally, I feel like I'd want to play the Alchemist compared to the other ones, like between the Axe and maybe even that some mag strats too. So I don't want to see the Axe, I don't think, after game 1 versus Nigma, because I thought it looked extremely strong, and you still have to worry about the flex that it's going to have too, because we know that Sumail loves those kind of like aggressive heroes that he can make the big plays on too.
Yeah, maybe the Axe a little bit too standard. Do you ever look at the unplayed heroes of a qualifiers and like, well, I wouldn't mind using that hero, seeing that hero. Obviously, Chen was unpicked up until yesterday in all of the qualifiers. But do you ever like look at that, seeing like how can I make this work?
Not exactly from that angle, but yeah, I look up what's not played, because I really think every hero in Dota has its own place. Especially like heroes like Chen. I think they're just too complicated for people to master. Like, if I would like to play Chen competitively, I would need to spend at least 50 to 100 hours before I would be able to do it. Like, and I think No-Tail is like just very familiar with it through the years, and he knows how to exploit it. Like the Chen laning stage is actually one of the strongest heroes in Dota. Like, you can find this Ogre creep that gives +8 armor or something, and like it breaks the laning stage. You armor your mid laner, you armor your carry, enemies cannot pressure anymore. It's like such little things can change the Dota, and when you look from that angle, then you're like, oh, why is Chen unpicked? But it's just it's a very unique hero. It's like it's very hard to pick up, I think.
Yeah, that's proved to be the case. We have not seen it other than from OG, and they used it so well that you'd think like, oh wow, you can stack 3 camps at the same time, everybody should pick this hero. But it's just not something that you can, as you say, just pick up and roll with it. You need practice on that. By the way, the 10 minutes have already passed quite a couple of minutes ago, so you can stop spamming and have, you know, proper solid discussions about the game to come, trying to save everybody's experience in the chat a little bit. But the exclamation mark mates are no longer good for a giveaway. You're too late now if you still wanted to say that now. But I want to talk a little bit about the no-till Chen, not necessarily Chen, but the no-till micro. I don't know if you remember, Trent, in the Fnatic days for no-till, when no-till and Fly on the same team, and they picked Visage, and then Fly would be the one playing Visage. Do you remember it was no-till controlling the burst with the scared unit control?
I mean, he had some major highlights back in the day too, right? With like the Ench plays where he'd be like chasing after someone, body blocking with the Centaur into the Stomp. You know, he's always been someone who is moving on to that. And then even I think he played some support Meepo at a time too, if I recall correctly. So he's always ready to I guess put the effort in to like play this big hero that can give you the chance, right?
Absolutely. I want to have one comparison. I don't normally want to try to compare, players too much in their roles. But as we prepare for our first couple of picks to come here with the draft on our screens, I do, Milan, want to ask you your opinion on Skeeter versus Sumail. Sumail, of course, coming from the mid lane, so quite a well, he has played safe lane before. But in terms of styles of Sumail and Skeeter, how do you compare those two?
I think they're a bit different. Skeeter is more of a traditional carry, and he's been growing ever since, like, through this year. He's grown so much since I was on that team till these days. He's like improved so much. He got like rank 1 or something. Like he tends to like be more of a traditional carry where he gets first in net worth. And Sumail is more like, we see him try to adapt to OG a bit, like play CK and like go and be active, or play the Leshak and do this stats thing. Like he's meshing up with the OG, where Skeeter is like, I'm gonna be the Terrorblade, I'm gonna get 6 slotted, I'm gonna win you the game. You know, that's how he is.
I think he really improved when he stopped forcing Radiance on every hero. You know, that was he finally abandoned it. I feel like that was like all he used to do. Yeah, exactly. He became much stronger after that.
He did indeed. We got the Lina first pick, and the terms of bans, Alchemist still left in the pool. I feel like both teams might be taunting each other a little bit. Are you gonna pick Alchemist? Are we gonna pick Alchemist? It's definitely something Tundra is thinking about right now. Is they're not sure what to go for first phase. Okay.
The Brood.
Okay.
Wanted to mention how they left the Brood. Now I think OG will just Alchemist. I think. Because the Lina is not really a mid lane hero for OG, like very unlikely. I'm sure Thompson could pull it out, but it's not his go-to hero. And they want to do this 8 Alchemist with the strong support laner, like Saxon Lina. It's one of the strongest laners, and then they'll just 18 pick the carry. They just pick 18 pick. Oh, they do the Magnus instead. Now they got the flex. But anyway, they got this lane which is literally uncounterable. Like, you cannot really counter Magnus Lina. It's too strong of a lane. And they're gonna put the 18 carry, or they might just counter this Brood from mid lane with Empower.
Yeah, this was probably the best off-lane duo at the major. It felt like you just couldn't do anything versus the Shockwave Skewer. No matter who you put there was going to get punished. And, I mean, you could tell that by the fact they're willing to bring it out when they know absolutely nothing about the safe lane already. So, Tundra will even have their chance to respond to that. And frankly, there hasn't really seemed to be a very good answer other than, like, don't get Shockwave Skewered. Pick a ranged hero, maybe.
Yeah, we have the Magnus indeed. We saw yesterday also for Sumail, of course, that was in combination with the Chen. That is still in the pool, and we'll see if that's going to make an appearance. I like this, though. I mean, not banning out the Brood Mother from OG, maybe a little bit risky.
It's also, like, every team has gone for the carry in the first phase lately. I mean, not every team, but it's a very common strategy right now, right? To grab either, like, the Luna or the Terrorblade, and neither of these two teams have really been opting for that. So, it means that we'll probably see that, like, secondary pool of carry heroes, right? When those heroes assumedly get banned out in the second phase.
I'm still curious if they might put Sumail or Magnus, because they have the first pick, right? They will see if they see the option to exploit, like, for example, let's theoretically say they pick a Terrorblade on Skeeter. They could just do like a Darkseer. Like, I think the OG still hasn't decided on the Magnus. they want, when you have a first pick, you want to be kind of a bit reactionary and like you just exploit, or you might not see a very good offlane pick for yourself. You see some Magnus is okay offlane, then you're just gonna punish the Brood with some probably. Let's see. I mean, the Tundra is now gonna tell you what are the best heroes against the Brood. Like they're gonna tell you that they don't like this Ember Spirit. I mean that's probably a mid lane hero they don't like with the Empower. Now they're gonna probably ban a, I would say, Pangolier. Pangolier is a go-to hero with Magnus for the OG, and they just ban Pangolier, and they're gonna ban one more, maybe a Void Spirit. Depends, because when you have a second pick, Tundra already knows which carry are they gonna pick, or
Hopefully.
which mid laner they're gonna pick. I mean, they kind of know that. I mean, that's how we did it before, and now they're gonna just ban the heroes that gonna be annoying for them, and OG is just gonna ban like the strong heroes. You know, Faceless Void, TA. These are heroes these heroes own like no matter what. They're so strong, especially the TA. TA is just like a first pick mid hero, which is gonna have impact no matter what. It's so hard to punish.
Would you also want to remove Grimstroke? Because I remember seeing in the DPC season a couple Grimstrokes against the Broodmother that were quite good. But do you feel like you should put like a support on the sideline in this banning stage, or is that too much respect for it?
I don't think they'll ban. Like the Brood players, like the very specialists, they're like they don't. It's uncomfortable, but they don't really care that much about it. They would just say it's annoying, but not for the ban. I would, Pugna. Oh, does this mean
everyone's
like
banning that?
Does this mean like it is a Topson special? Topson TI8 qualifier. I played against him. That was his go-to hero. He's after the Monkey King, his best hero. Interesting. They don't ban the Monkey King. The Monkey King is very good safe lane against Brood. Very good with Empower. Topson, we all know.
Lina too.
Right? We all know the Topson Monkey King. It's a no joke. Like this guy.
There's also still Puck in the pool too, in terms of like chasing down a Mirana and a Broodmother. I feel like that tends to be a hero that a lot of teams go for as well. Doesn't pair as well with the Empower, of course, but
goes both ways. Because actually, you can do when you buy Yules on Mirana, you can catch the Puck super easy. True. Like Yules into arrow, it's not dodgeable if you time it. It actually goes both ways. But Winter Wyvern, this is very stable. Winter Wyvern against Magnus, it's like Pata is very familiar with this hero, and like you can always like save from RP. I'm really curious about two OG's picks are coming, because I think they should think about the TB for Skidder. They should already kind of feel it.
And this should probably be a no-tail hero, right? At this point, don't want to reveal anything.
They just want to do a hero against Mirana and Brood. I wouldn't mind a Grimstroke, but I think they might want to some melee hero. Depends on. Yes, sorry, go on.
No, I was curious. Is Chen still an option? I feel like I gotta put it out there. It's okay. Never mind.
Not into Wyvern and Wyvern Mirana.
You don't pick a Chen into Mirana. It's not favorable. I mean, Keeper of the Light. It's like annoying for the Brood and Mirana, but it's like I think it's about the bigger picture. It's about the next hero they will pick. Maybe like a Tiny, or it really depends on what they pick up on Tundra now. But I think on Tundra they're looking Spectre or Terrorblade. I'm not sure how hot on Spectre is Skitter recently, because I just saw their games. I mean, I watched them before, but they won 3 games with Terrorblade. You know?
I mean, if you Terrorblade here and then they PL, is that a problem though? I mean, you have Wyvern, you have Brood.
I would say it's
okay.
like it's again. I will use uncomfortable. I wouldn't say a problem. It's just because PL Magnus is kind of. It's like you don't want to empower the PL. The PL strength is like you don't know which one he is, and he just burns your mana. But if you
and then they actually wind up with the Knicks. We lost Milan for a second here, so you'll just have to stare at his lovely, stable face. Ah, I hear you again. Yeah, we just need you back in the VMix, I believe. And then you'll be good to go. But yeah, they grab a Oh, okay. They grab the Nyx Assassins. So now this Wyvern, they've been playing that for a mid, right? In some of the qualifiers before for 9. He has messed around with that a little bit, so there's a chance for that. But we also have had like mid Maranas pop out too. So couple different possibilities here for Tundra now.
For sure. Yeah. Love it.
They got the last pick, so the overall last pick they'll just see what as I said they prepared this coddle. It was a bigger picture. They kind of knew they're gonna Bristol, and the Bristol with the coddle with the Magnus. OG is famous, very famous for this empowering strategy. I mean, not just the empower spell, but we're gonna pick the Bristol. We're gonna give him infinite mana. We're gonna give him a Belfurion build. We're gonna enable him to go 20-0. And that's what they're very good at, and they're sticking to their guns here.
Now, every time that we've had PPD on the panel and there was an alchemist in the game, he said, you know, one of the heroes that's really good to give an early ags to would be that Bristleback. Is this something that you could still see in the cards, or is that off the table?
I definitely can see it. I think the player most likely to play Bristol on OG is Thompson. It's like kind of signature for him. I'm sure. I don't think it would be Seb. It's not his cup of tea. And Sumail could pick it up, but I think that there's definitely a space for the Alchemist. Let's see what's Tundra thinking. Tundra's thinking Morphling ban. I mean, you play against Sumail and Thompson, you ban the Morphling. That's not unusual.
5 seconds remaining.
They could use someone who could kind of like get the first jump a little bit better than just the Magnus right now, you know? Which makes me wonder if they should put like Mag as the 1 and get Seb something that can jump in a little bit. Or you get some sort of like the Monkey King, honestly, like that same sort of feel, but for Sumail.
I wouldn't mind the Monkey King, but it's so open. They just banned it. Yeah. It's so open for OG. No matter what they pick, they can kind of choose their lanes as well. Like it's gonna be hard last pick for Tundra. It's gonna hard last pick for Skidder. But
10 seconds remaining.
I think that
Which
there's
heroes
space
are
for
left in the
Alchemist.
pool for Skeeter?
But there's a Void Spit. For Skidder, I think there's Spectre left. Not sure. It's a good matchup against Magnus, but not sure how it matches with Bristol. What else does Skidder play that's really good against Bristol?
Yeah, kind of ugly games. I mean, he goes just for like the big farmers, right? That's his classic. I mean, isn't Luna still in too?
It is still in, yes.
It's a hard lane for Luna, I feel. Luna wants to do very well in lane. The Lina Magnus might be too hard. There is Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage is very unpicked hero now, but it's one of the Skitter's signatures.
Oh, and his Lifestealer too.
Yeah, I mean it's just
RP.
It's just I feel like any hero Skitter looks. Oh, there goes Luna. I wanted to say every hero he looks is like, oh, this lane, this Lina. Oh my god. But they go for the Luna. They go for the pretty standard stuff.
It will be a 9 Winter Wyvern, by the way, so we will see the position 5 Nyx for Mirana and then a position 2 Winter Wyvern. Is that something that you like to see up against that Void Spirit?
I think, to me, that might have been one of the problems with the Void Spirit in a sense of, like, it kind of gave the opportunity to do the mid Wyvern, because it's like a melee hero, so he should have, like, a slightly better time. And then what 9 does is he'll just, like, delay the tower for as long as possible. He just, like, spams out the Splinter Blast, and he'll even use Curse just to pull the wave off the tower. Like, try and survive for as long as possible to get into that, like, solo kill possibility. So, I actually quite like the Wyvern here.
I like the mid Wyvern. I really think this Wyvern needs to have a lot of impact in this game, and he was like position 4, he would have hard time finding like the Blink Dagger and the Aghanim's. So yeah, I like that they're gonna give him space, but Thompson Void Spirit is very known for pressure, and Wyvern is quite he can suffer from the early tempo.
Alright, but who do you favor as the hard-hitting questions? We can say good things about the Winter Wyvern all we want, but in the end, can they take this game, or is Tundra gonna take game 1? Trent, you wanna go first?
To me, it kind of looks like a hard Brood game after everything. And in the end, that is our big guy. You know, he's got some some tough stuff, some good chase heroes left on OG. It is a 3-3 Brood, of course, so maybe he'll just like pop off and get that secure on the tier 1 tower early, because to me that's like the big key of a Brood game. But I think I like OG's draft a little bit more.
I'll go with Trent as well. I think I like the OG's composition a bit more. I think Tundra has a good draft, but like they want to slow it down a bit. But I think OG will hit their timing way faster, and they should do pretty well in all 3 lanes. And then with Empower, they should like outfarm the Tundra.
Okay, well, is OG gonna take game 1, or is Tundra gonna prove my panelists wrong? We're gonna find out together with our commentary team, OD Pixel and AUI.
Thank you very much, Shiva, and yes, welcome everybody to Game 1 of Tundra versus OG. Owie, we've had the drafts, we're ready to kick it off. What's sort of your initial feelings looking at the 2 lineups we've got from these 2 teams coming into this first match?
I think there was a lot of prep that went into this match. We can see OG clearly knew that Tundra were going to early pick this Broodmother, and all 3 of their cores, and even to a somewhat lesser degree their supports, can deal with Brood Spiders. In the last time we saw 3-3 get his hands on a Broodmother, he was against a Luna lane versus Team Liquid, and he kicked the Luna lane and took the enemy safe lane tower and mid tower, and it's just a super high impact Skitter though. He's looking a little...
Oh, I tell you what, a beautiful remnant here from Thompson here, going with the level 1 point. Do they actually have to follow? They don't. Skeeter's going to be fine. So, I mean, it was a lovely little catch there, but maybe one that will actually hurt him in the lane now, as he will have to start off that matchup mid with the first point in Remnant.
30 seconds.
Yeah, Luna just a little bit too tanky. 9 armor when you're in your tier 1 tower. He's just going to sit at his tier 2 for the regen and just be pretty much full. Oh, they're Remnant in here too.
They are. Thompson just throwing remnants all over the shop, trying to find a bit of a catch, but hey, this might actually end up turning around on himself as the arrow's in. Thompson is falling pretty low. If they got enough damage with the Splinter Blast, they do. They'll get that first blood, Tundra. They'll lose Fada for it. But Thompson, the first one to die here in this first match, as he's going to have to turn up to the lane, and say with a bit of an awkward skill here at the level 1. Not working out for them there, OG.
That means that Thompson's going to miss his mid block, which is a pretty big deal versus Winter Wyvern. Winter Wyvern's extremely low damage and sort of poor animation, so you want to really dominate him on the first waves.
Yeah. And in sort of terms of the mid-Winter Wyvern, I mean, does it excite you, this match? Can you see why Tundra wanted to sort of amp up its priority in heroes and get 9 playing it in the core role?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. I think a lot of it is what Milan said. It's that Winter Wyvern needs a lot of items this game in order to play Dota, and if you do get to the Aghanim Scepter, it's incredibly good at kiting the OG lineups. It's pretty much only Thompson who can jump Winter Wyvern this game, and just percent damage versus these tanky Bristlebacks and Magnuses is always good. I also watched a pub recently where 9 played mid Wyvern against Thompson's Puck, and 9 actually solo killed Thompson 1 or 2 times with the level 6. And it's a bit different because you know, you have Stout Shield on the Void Spirit, the innate Stout Shield, so the creeps don't do as much damage, but that is like a little bit of history in these player matchup.
Alright, yeah. So I can imagine 9 more than happy to bring it up against Thompson again here in this important match. And sort of to go back to the Luna pick, as you said, you know, can have a lot of pressure put on into him in this lane. It's the strong, age-old tested duo here from OG, Seb, Magnus, Saxolina. They did sort of take some time with that last pick. Do you think Tundra were put in a bit of a difficult position when it came to deciding what carry they were going to have as their final pick this game?
I think so for sure. I think every top tier carry was sort of banned out. We saw them ban out the Dusa, the Terrorblade. 1 second, top lane. It looks like a little bit. Never mind, nothing's happening there. Psych, juked. But I think it is like a sort of a difficult pick because Tundra sort of knew that OG wanted them to pick the Luna. But at the same time, I think they're very comfortable playing Luna, so it's not like they were unhappy with this pick in the end.
No, there's still sort of timings that are able to be a hit. We'll see. Fodder, they'll turn onto him. Light strike down as well as the skewer. This will get him in position for Sub to get a good few hits in. But he's still tanky enough to walk it off with the stick charges. Fado will be fine. Looking at some of the CS so far in the matchups. What have we got? Mid 11 for 2 against the 11 for 0. Pretty much even here between 9 and Thompson. On the top lane, 33 a little slower start when it comes to hitting the creeps, but same to be said for Sumail, really. They're pretty close. Nobody getting zoned out completely of the laning stage, all in all.
And
so
Mirana
rather
does
close
have
start.
Mirana does have 6 CS, so that's a lot of where the top
that's
CS
true.
goes from 3-3-2.
Yeah.
He's even level 3 before his offlaner. I mean, snaking under Mirana. We saw in his Liquid match. He's a real core.
Yes, yes. You know, when that sort of gold goes to snaking early on when he's on his Mirana, you know it's going to a good place.
Yeah.
Snake.
Bot lane though, they caught Skitter.
Let's see if they've got enough for him. Skewer back. Not quite able to get him underneath the tower, but still hitting him pretty hard. I say that though, Saxa, he might be the one to fall here. One more hit, not enough. Saxa's able to get round the tree line. Saxa won't go down, but neither will Skeeter. Skeeter able to step back in time. OG, even with the grab from the skewer, not quite able to set up for enough damages. Nobody ends up going down.
And neither side with a solve, so it's going to be a little bit of a weird situation in the lane. Fada's going to pull all his tangos to Skitter, but you can't heal him right back up there. I also want to mention that both the OG supports have also gone for a Vasi Ring first item on the side lanes. I think it's... like, OG, they've always been a team that thinks about the macro plays, like the long-term results, and Vasi Ring is definitely an item for that.
Look at this top here, this aggression from 33. He just tears Sumail apart. Look at the arrow connection onto No-Tail. I see No-Tail's able to get away. He's into the trees. Snake. He's going to have a leap in a second, but No-Tail already with the south popping. Snaking will at least be able to cancel a good amount of that healing. But yeah, 33, just knowing the exact strengths of the Brood, Sumail just gets turned upon, and he can't do anything. In fact, No-Tail stepping back in range. They're going to jump forward. They're going to be able to bring down the Quals as well. Another kill here for Tundra on the top lane. As might have been a little slow on the CS, but I mean, you know, this is why they picked the Brood first. 33 in his element. He knows exactly when to get aggressive and when he's going to get away with it, regardless of who he's laning against.
I'm honestly shocked by this. Caudal Brood, they're going on top again.
Look at this
Is
again.
the lifesteal.
Just straight on Sumail. A lot of stacks, but 33's got the stick charges. Just playing on the edge here, 33. We'll try and turn towards him, Sumail and No-Tail, but 33's into the trees. He's fine, Snake. He's got leap up in a second. Will also just be able to get away. The blast coming in, not enough damage. Snaking will survive.
Caudal Bristleback has been one of those auto-win safe lane matchups for like 8 years in Dota now. I'm honestly surprised that I wouldn't say Brood Mirana is inspiring in the offlane either. So they're playing really well, or the matchup is good for Brood and we just don't know about, but 3-3 plays a lot of Brood Mother, he knows.
Yeah. No, he absolutely does. 1-0-2 on the KDA so far.
Sorry, nothing happened. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I mean, you bang on this bottom, though. We've got to keep our eyes on it, because both teams, Tundra and OG, really having a right poke at each other. Seb is out of regen, so he's actually going to opt to take the trip back to base and give a little space for Saxa, but doesn't mean Saxa on his own. He's got to be a little cautious. Skeeter does have enough mana with the one charge just to pop out a Lucent Beam. See if they've got enough damage here. Saxa trying his best to juke away from this in the trees. And we'll tell with another stun, but that's going to end up killing him. Spike Carapace is up and ready. Saxa gets the lane left to him. Now Tundra, they're able to make the most of Saxa being on his own, and they'll take him out of the game.
And 9 is actually doing really well mid. I thought this lane would be more Void Spirit favor. Oh, top lane, they're poking him. Nothing's happening. I don't know why I look around the map. He's doing really well. And I thought it would be more Void Spirit favor, but maybe because he had to take the Aether Remnant, sort of a result of the level 1.
I think, because I really do think that it absolutely hurts. You know, if you're not sort of there to secure that advantage on the first level.
Smoke from Saxa here, though.
See if they can burst 9. A couple of jumps here with the Astral Step. Not enough damage. 9. He's okay, and he's also very hard to get on top of it. They does have the curse available. Saxa, with the stun, comes in, catches him off guard. Not ready for the setup there from the Lina, as 9 will get caught a little too far up on the high ground here at the mid lane.
And that's honestly such a good play coming up from Saxa. Like, who would expect the bootsless level 4 Lina gank onto mid lane? It's not something that, even though Lina died, the comms aren't, hey, watch out, Lina might gank you. It's just, guys, Lina's dead, she has no boots. And then, you know, you get a kill on the enemy mid, which is huge because OG, if you look at their lineup, they really need Thompson to start rolling this game. Magnus and Bristleback, they're not the best heroes at making moves. It has to be Void Spirit starting every fight.
Absolutely. And sort of Void Spirit is a hero in itself, right? This is a hero that doesn't play well if he starts falling behind. You are pretty snowball-centric when it comes to having impact as this hero.
And even after that gank, though, 9 is still the same net worth as Thompson. Yeah. Same for top lane, you know. 3-3 got a couple of kills, but Sumail is still the top net worth in the game.
With the Vanguard now a very hard target for 33 to really punish and push out of the lane. So Sumail and Notel should be in a good position to hold off that sort of pressure that 33 wants to normally apply when he gets the Brood pick in these matches.
I think he'll pretty much just look to cut the creep wave from now on. He has to be a little bit worried because Thompson has some TP kill threat or just running up there. But he'll feel very comfortable. You know, Snaking's going to take away the jungle's axe. Honestly, I'm a bit surprised how OG play to give the Mirana away. Because you know, OG, they're going to get a lot of stacks up. They want to clear with the Bristle Magnus. But Mirana's just going to steal all the big creeps, so it's a lot less effective.
Snaking keeping his eyes on the jungle here for now. See Skeeter down bottom, not quite having his free farm. Sumail is up top, but at the same time, not really under any sort of threat from Seb and Sax as they just continue to look to manipulate the creep wave, try and take away some of these potential gold from Skeeter.
So the last time I saw Nine play Winter Wyvern, he went for Boots of Travel into Witch's Blade, into Aghanims, and then he actually bought a Silver Edge. So they do have a natural, it's like the 4th item, Silver Edge carry coming out against the OG side eventually.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty big. I mean, yeah, absolutely. In this sort of day and age where you just don't have a lot of break mechanics in there, knowing that he is going to have the flexibility with his build down the line to offer that counter to Sumail.
Thompson, he's farming this big stack on the Ancients. They're just giving him a lot of farm priority because they understand that he's the one who's going to get strong to make the moves. How you make moves in Dota is you need to do something to get ahead first, whether you get ganked for, whether you take a stack, and then you can start running around. If you start running around without that sort of power spike, it usually doesn't work, or it's like more up to chance. But now they're smoking up after you finish that stack.
Yeah, for OG's sort of draft to hit its stride, this sort of move's got to come out with some sort of success. Skeeter would be the big catch. See if they're able to get a grab on him. Thompson. He's going to have eyes on the Luna now. Straight in with the first step. Is there going to be any sort of backup or help for Skeeter? The Moonlight Shadow will be popped, but the sentries are down. They've got the vision. Skeeter will be taken out. OG get exactly what they came hunting for. See if they can get anything more out of this. Tundra. They've got Fada and Snaking coming in. They're still with the 3 of OG. Not really a fight that Tundra's going to look to take. Over in the river. Sumail moving in onto 9, but 9... he's out with the TP, nothing to put a stop to it. The Skeeter's gone, so slowing down the Luna's farm. This is going to allow them to just keep that difference between Skeeter's Luna and Sumail's Bristle.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
3-3 though, he's now top network in the game, and he managed to, either they rotated Bristle back out or he kicked him out, but he took the tower and he's feeling very comfortable. Right now it's all going to be on this bot tower, whether Tundra want to defend.
Oh, they're going to drop the RP here for Fada. They want to play it fast, OG. Now use the big spells here for even the smaller of kills, just to allow them the space to get these objectives taken away, and it will work. The tower will fall.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
See what they've got going on in the mid here. Snaking and 9 just on the verge of taking out that mid tier 1. They'll get it. Sumail not quite able to get the deny, and Fada knows, dropping him a tip.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
9 has his travels finished up. He almost has his level 10, which is a big power spike for the mid Winter Wyvern. Plus 50 damage, not to be understated at all, because you just hit from so far. Thompson's poking bottom.
He's trying for Fada. He's got another step left. And with the Dissimilate, he'll get the job done. That's coming in pretty deep for this 9. He's not going to be able to get a catch on Thompson though. They're usually able to step back into the tree line before there's any catch. As Thompson backed up once again by Seb. OG continuing to try and take away this jungle. We'll see over towards the mid lane. 33 is in aggressive. The arrow's going to connect in onto Sumail from Snaking. Saxa will turn with the Laguna Blade. It's not enough to pop Snaking. Stick charge. Snaking's pretty much back up to full HP. They get in, they get the kill, they get out. OG not able to punish this as of yet. Now looking towards 33 here. Thompson maybe thinking about going for a jump onto Snaking instead, but figuring he doesn't have quite enough control to deal with the sleeping Mirana. OG not able to get a trade back there for losing Saxa. Oh, 6 for 5, still close in this early game. I mean, do you feel both teams are happy with this early outcome, or do you think one of the teams is feeling a bit more pressure considering what they need to maybe achieve, time-wise, with the draft they have?
To be honest, I think Tundra are the ones who are feeling a bit more happy. I would feel like if you have a Bristleback, Magnus, and Void Spirit core, you would want to put a bit more pressure. I didn't really see Sumail get any of these really huge Ancient stacks I would expect from OG's play first Nigma yesterday. Meanwhile, Luna, even though she had a bit of a rough game, she did get a triple stack on Ancient. She is catching up. And...
Seb,
1 second here.
they've found the setup. They're going to drop the curse. Topson and Sumail are heading over. Seb will be able to get the skewer off, but the damage is done. Snaking with the Starstorm takes him out. Topson jumping straight over to Skeeter, but the corner brace comes in place. Doesn't matter. Magic damage from the Dissimilate bursts the Luna. As Sumail and Topson, they'll look to continue to try and chase down for more. Moonlight Shadow's popped. Do either the cores have detection on the front lines? They don't. So the Moonlight Shadow will allow them the safety. Snaking 9 to get away from them. But a big hit back there from OG again. Shutting down Skeeter. Skeeter just getting caught in the action that OG are consistently trying to bring over onto Tundra's half of the map.
And honestly, a bit of a weird TP coming from Skitter there. I feel like he's in the position where all he needs to do this game is sort of catch up. He had the hard lane, his other lanes are doing very well. He doesn't need to come to these weird fights where he might die.
Certainly missing out on some of the timings that he wants to be going for when he gets this Luna pick. They're looking for 33. He's up on the cliff. See if they can find him. They can't. Fada's able to hold back Seb with the stun. Sumail still looking to try and charge in. Topson ready to swing him from the side. So if they dive in on this, 9 has got the curse up in 20 seconds. It's not going to be soon enough to save Fada. Sumail straight in on top of the Nyx Assassin. Take down 1. Not going to quite be able to get the catch on anyone else here. Skeeter farming pretty aggressively here on the mid. Feeling confident with a lot of OGs showing their faces over on the top half.
9 setting up for getting set up on here.
See Topson. Has he got enough? Is 9 going to be forced to use the ult to hold him back? And even if he does, TP's still on cooldown. We'll use the curse to buy him a bit of time, and it will be enough to save him. Curse is forced out, but does mean 9 gets out alive.
Is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So right now, OG, they're looking a little bit at what timings they have. I think they felt really strong whenever they had, you know, the double Vanguard or Magnus Bristleback. Well, they're looking to go on Sumail mid here, though.
I see if they've got the damage for it. Bringing in the whole crew. Sumail is trying to turn and charge out of there, but they've got enough. With the Eclipse coming pounding down onto the Bristleback, they'll take out Sumail. Not enough that the rest of OG, No-Tail and Sax are sitting behind could do to bail Sumail out of that. When Tundra, they're bringing absolutely everything here, making sure that they don't lose any more of these early towers to the aggression of OG, and so far certainly working. 15 minutes in against the high tempo lineup of OG, they've only lost the one tier 1 bottom, holding on to this mid lane.
And you can see 3-3, instead of taking the safe farm at top, he's really positioned himself where OG want to be instead. He's just sort of forming a wall because he's going these tanky items. He has drums, good synergy with the Luna Aura, and a hood. He's very hard to kill right now. That allows Luna and Winter Wyvern to both take better farm on the map. I also want to say that last play, I think it was a really good read by Tundra, because even though Topson was able to force out Curse Bottom, they knew that he used his teleport scroll to do so. That read on the map, where Topson can no longer get to mid, means that you can outnumber your opponent. Bristleback did a lot of damage and took a long time to die there, but if you can't get Void Spirit there, it's never going to be a fight for OG.
No, yeah, you need Topson to be that aggression, to get in, get damage done, whilst Tundra's focusing all their attention onto bringing down Sumail. As of course going for the very Topson-esque build, the Echo Saber straight into the death zone, making sure that he will have that physical damage to carry. It's top. The setup onto Seb. Fada with the opening, snaking with the follow-up. Seb is pretty tanky, not tanky enough to withstand the damage from these three. 9 coming in as well with a bit of extra firepower, and straight away TP's over to the mid lane. Topson starts to step in aggressively, and by the time he's underneath the tower, Tundra here, OG again having to back off. Tundra just continue to find these opportunities to make plays out on the map, but still get back and still bring together the defense in time.
Ooh, I like this from Topson. He's gone for the Orba, Corrosion, Echo Saber, and then he's going into the Desolator. So he's identified that they really need to burst down Tundra's heroes. Even into a Winter Wyvern heal, you need to jump them, and they have all physical damage on the other core. So he's sort of doubling down, sort of empowering how much damage. That's something OG has always done, right? The damage reduction stacking, the amplification of carry, and in this case, it's like just amplifying your cores by minusing armor on the enemy team. Oh,
absolutely. Yeah, these quill sprays are going to hit incredibly hard. As mid lane, OG, they'll finally get away with the tower. Tundra not able to hold on to it any longer, as the brute force from OG finally pays off. Topson continuing to push in, the rest of OG hiding in the back with the smoke. Blink RP ready on Seb to start the action on Tafada. Going to proc the return damage here from the Spike Carapace as they hold back. They want to look for something bigger to jump on, but Tundra, they're not showing any of the other cores here around the mid. Topson, he'll go back in on Tafada. He has the Vendetta at the ready. Topson's still not quite able to fully catch and kill the Nyx Assassin. OG, they still want action. Sumail, Seb, postured aggressively, and they're in! The RP's there, straight in, gets the spider, the babies, everything. As Fada's down, so's the babies, and so's the mama by the looks of it. It's 33 trying to run down the cliff, but he's back in range of the damage from Topson. Curse comes out from 9. Tundra, can they turn it around? Arrow follow-up, straight down onto the Void Spirit. Topson and Seb, they are dead. Sumail running in on Snaking, but another leap over the cliff line will get him away. No-Tail's got a blast coming in. It's not enough damage. Snaking will live. Now, OG, they make an aggressive move there with Seb. They get 2 kills, a lot of baby spiders, but they lose both Seb and Topson for that. Not a trade that they'll be too happy with it, and a lot of money as well. That streak of Topson ended. 9 picks up a nice, tasty bonus of 600 gold.
Ooh, and Tundra, they got the best item for Winter Wyvern here. They got the Grove Bow. We can already see in that last fight. He got the curse off on Topson, and he 100 to 0'd him alone. It's just one hit from the keel with the Witch's Blade, the curse, one ally hitting. You kill anyone. This Winter Wyvern, as soon as he gets his Aghanims, I think he'll be this huge menace on the map for OG. But OG, they understand this. They don't want to let Tundra get too far ahead. They're going for a Roshan here.
Yeah. 25 seconds until Curse is back up. OG, they want to get this done before that threat's back in the game. 33 is going to start poking from the side. Could look for a steal here. OG's got to be careful of how quickly they pick the items up. As you know, Tundra's going to look to maybe get in on this snake. He'll drop in an arrow, but he doesn't want to commit with his body. He'll stay outside. OG get the space to finish Roche. Aegis now ready on Topson. So now it's definitely going to be harder to deal with when it comes to utilizing these ults to burst the cores, especially Topson. Topson's going to have a chance to play out the fight with a second life.
And Topson, he's changed his read on this game. He understood after that last fight that I need to jump this Winter Wyvern. So he's gone for the BKB. He's getting jumped here, though.
And they're going to be able to quickly take that Aegis out of his hands. And pretty much as soon as it's picked up, it's gone. That's the Aegis out of the game. Turn towards Fada. Big Laguna coming in before Fada can even get the chance to do anything in return. So they'll delete the Nyx Assassin and they'll start to try and swing around on the top. In fact, Topson, he's getting incredibly aggressively onto Snaking, but Snaking managing to jump out of the combo in time. See if they can finish off No-Tail as 9. He certainly can by the looks of it. The damage, the reach, the range here with the Grove Bow. There's no escape from the core Wyvern as No-Tail will slowly and frostily burn.
That Aegis pickup, I think it might be the most influential part of the game for Tundra. Because if they have Aegis, they had Aghanims on Bristleback, they had Aegis on Void Spirit, they could have completely taken over the map. The fact that they don't have Aegis is a huge swing in Tundra's favor.
So Topson. Little poke on a 33 Fada. They'll find the opening stun. Arrow for Snaking. Beautifully lined up, but they got the damage to take Topson out before he can jump away. They do. That's Topson gone. Nine's coming in with the wraparound from the side. Seb's trying to TP out. The damage, it's too much though. Seb down as well. Eclipse ready to go. Skeeter turns. They've taken down all 3 cores here, Tundra. As Fada starts off the fight perfectly, catching Topson in the trees with the opening stun. And OG, they fall apart entirely there. 3 cores gone. Tundra, as you say, you know, a bit of a slowdown to the momentum that they could potentially have, not getting that Roshan and that Aegis. But OG quickly losing the Aegis up top, and then subsequently taking a horrific team fight there. 3 heroes just dead and gone. Tundra hitting hard.
And I think OG right now, they're feeling a bit uncomfortable. That fight was into the enemy triangle, into the vision of Tundra. It was a perfect engagement for Tundra. They have all the vision. They have Wyvern on the high ground where all 3 of your melee cores can't touch him. You don't really have the stun to jump in. And now he's won this fight. He's got his Aghanim Scepter.
22 minutes, yeah.
You know, people don't see this Winter Wyvern core much. But Aghanim Scepter got one of the biggest buffs last patch. Now it gives you 25% move speed. It has great synergy with his booster travel. He's going to be zooming around and untouchable. Constantly applying the slow, the percent damage and debuff as it refreshes with the Aghanims. And I don't know how Bristleback or Magnus really walk into fights. they have to kill Winter Wyvern in order to take any sort of engagement against Tundra.
Yeah, I mean, and that's all on Topson, right? He's the agile hero that can look to make those jumps to get to the back lines. They're coming in with a Moonlight Shadow, they're prepared for the walls, but straight away the curse from 9 comes out. Holds back the offensive here from Topson. And Zeb, they'll still look to get the jump in with the RP, only going to catch Snaking though. 9 able to step out to the side in time. Whilst the curse doesn't find anything, neither, of course, does the RP. A couple of ults from both sides. Not achieving much more than a kill on Snaking. 9 still, in fact, hovering around it. He's got Fada with the setup. Spike Carapace catching Seb off guard here as the cleave gets reflected, and Seb,
damage.
He's gone. It's too much here. 9 slowly beating down upon him from pretty much an entire screen away there with the reach that this Wyvern has.
So that's a 2000 HP hero with Vanguard. And Winter Wyvern, he killed him in like 3 seconds. Like his entire, like the last bit is slower, but he just does so much damage right now. And it's not even just, he has a Broodmother to frontline for him, a Potter multi to sort of hide him away, and as I said earlier, he is going for that Silver's Edge.
He's ready to go again
as well.
Yep, Saxa getting caught out by Fada. I'll tell you what, they're certainly having struggles with this Nyx Assassin. I mean, sure, Fada's died quite a few times, but a lot of the kills that Tundra's been getting here has been Fada just setting up things, and OG getting caught time and time again off guard by Fada's positioning.
A lot of his deaths is just playing Nyx Assassin. Every time you see a Nyx, he'll always have double digits death, but the impact of this hero has always been so high in all these qualifiers. They smoke up on OG though. They're tired of this little bug.
They want Fada. They really do. They start to lead in onto him. Snaky's going to draw their attention away from it. See if Topson can come in to finish the kill. He's got the Remnant grab onto Fada. And they'll finally be able to get their... Oh, maybe not. Have they got any further detection? Oh, Fada will step back into the Remnant. But they actually don't on the front of them. They had the sentry down, but nothing else to keep the vision of Fada. Fada's able to walk away there. They pretty much have 4 members of OG up here trying to get a kill, get a catch onto Tundra. They don't get anything at all as Tundra continue to get away with being more efficient across the map. Skeeter now getting huge amounts of space down bottom after a bit of a rough start. A couple of fights that he turned up to a little too early. His game's completely recovered, sitting solidly at the top of the net worth now, taking over that top spot from Samael. And Tundra, they're just increasing this advantage. OG's got a hit with something, but Topson, he's been caught again. Topson's out, Snaking and 9 getting the job done.
So yesterday, I learned that Chen was broken, apparently. When OG played it twice against Enigma, it looks absolutely fantastic. I don't know what it did, but they won the games. This game, honestly, Winter Wyvern looks like a completely top-tier hero. I don't know if it's because his lane was good, maybe Topson had to take the Q at level 1, but 9 has done so much this game. He even has like this night vision. Arctic Burn gives you night vision. He has a night vision talent, so you can always see your opponents, and he's just doing so much damage. He sets up with a Winter's Curse into an arrow. He's all across the map with travels, and oh, they're catching Nota. Like Tundra, they're just outplaying OG on the map. They have this wave shove with the Luna illusions and Broodmother summons, and despite Notel going for this very fast recall shard, they're getting picked off everywhere because they can't control their lanes. They don't have enough information and vision.
No, not at all.
Look, I mean, he's not the ball. Look at this. 1 hit on Saxa. Look how much damage he takes.
look at this. That health just ticked down there.
He's at 25% HP from 2 hits from Winter Wyvern.
Oh, here we go, top. They've found Fada. Fada found them. He'll turn with a stun. This time they'll kill him off. Fada's not getting away with that one.
Good punish by OG there. I mean, most of Fada's deaths have been for the boys, but if you show a lot of heroes bottom, you probably can't push forward in the enemy jungle like that. He does scout out the enemy ward.
Looking for snare as well, but not quite enough, and now nine's up here.
A couple times there from Topson where I feel like he's missed out on kills because he's not carrying dust versus the bottom Nyx.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's certainly happened. It has certainly happened. They've got to be careful up in 9. He's got the curse ready to go. Arcane Rune as well.
And he saw Magnus there with his night vision. Magnus can't see him, but he's just flying around in these trees. What? How do you catch this guy?
Yeah,
look at him.
This sort of, I mean, you've got to get some Tinker Wards out or something. I don't know how you're going to keep eyes on 9 just sneaking around the way he is. He will now show himself to grab the creep wave. A cute little curse is used to try and get out of there, and he's away. The Remnant not quite at the right angle to grab him and stop him from TPing out. as Nine living on the edge. But he does do exactly that. He lives, he's out. He's back in the action, 33. Getting chased down, Seb looking for the skewer back. Won't quite be able to get the scoop on 33 though. It's 33 steps to the side. OG not able to get a grab on any of the members of Tundra. Tundra are able to regroup safely underneath the tower. They'll even pop a smoke here. Maybe seeing if they can get a jump back on OG.
Did they understand that they have bottom lane pushing, they have mid lane pushing? OG is going to have to split up here. They do have the Caudal recall, so the split up means a little bit less, and I think they realize that. They don't want to go too far just because of Caudal's recall. Also, even on the Bristleback, who has, you know, he's a traditionally very tanky hero. He has Bristleback, he has Hood and Vanguard. One hit from 9 did about a quarter of his HP in that fight. It's a lot of damage, and now he's picked up the level 20 talent. He's slowing them for 52% from Arctic Burn and 25% from Witch's Blade. So you're moving at like 130 move speed when you play versus Winter Wyvern. You can never touch him.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard to get on top of 9. Topson, he's got to start the fight on him, but the question is, even if Topson gets the grab on him, whether Topson really does anywhere near enough damage to take 9 out on his own. He's got to have some quick follow-up, and that's hard to do with the heroes that OG has. 9 having a lot of space to play his game, and we're seeing it so far. 5-1 and 6 on the mid Winter Wyvern. Looking very strong.
So from OG's perspective, if they can jump Winter Wyvern... Oh, Fadas, he's breaking another smoke here.
Another backup. There's an arrow in onto Samael. Start to see 9 poking in on Samael. Killed off Fada. Samael, he down to half HP, and Skeeter straight in with the Eclipse. Samael's got to step up to the high ground. Topson's in with the Astral Steps onto Snake King, but the Cold Embrace keeps the Mirana safe. Topson's having to back out for the remainder of this BKB. Over on the high ground here, 33 keeping eyes on Samael. Tundra, they're trying to close in on this. OG attempting to back off Seb. He's going to get back in with the 2-man RP. Light Strike Ray down onto the 2 cores. The catch is there. Seb with the RP. Is it enough to turn it around though? Skeeter's still able to get the BKB off, and it's still OG that's having to run. Samael goes down. Will buy back on the Bristle. There's Topson. He's getting low, jumping back in aggressively with the Dissimulate to kill off the Spider. Seb, he's going to be off the mark with the Skewer. Won't be able to get the catch onto Weaver 33 and Snaking. As Snaking's able to leap over the walls of the Roche Pit back to safety. Buyback comes out from 9 with Roche up. Tundra, they want to make sure that OG do not have the space to take this Samael. He's got to be careful. He brought back for this. They've got to keep their Bristleback safe. There's already with the hits of the Arctic Burn. Samael down to half HP. The curse comes out to hold them back, giving them the space to focus on towards Topson. Topson with the Stimulate jumps over to the side, but the Lucid Beam comes out. Topson goes down. There'll be a buyback here from No Tail. Seb's out. Seb's got a buyback as well. It's a triple kill from 9. The damage from this Wyvern is too much for OG. Samael trying to run. The stun's there from Fada. Samael will fall. That's a dieback on the Bristle. Out of the game for nearly 2 minutes. OG will be able to clean up 33 and Fada in return. But they've got the buybacks. OG's 2 cores, Topson and Samael, they do not. Tundra's back in with 5. OG's only got 3 to play with.
Look at 9. He's chasing down Seb.
Oh yeah, they just cannot get anywhere close to this Wyvern. Seb screwing out back to safety. Snaking, chasing them back to their base. Giving all the space that Tundra needs to be able to step into this pit and claim this big second Roshan for themselves, get themselves the Aegis, Cheese, and Shard, with OG unable to do anything about it.
So 9 bought back, and I think that means they're going to give him the Aegis. But I actually think Luna should take this Aegis anyways. Okay, so they do give it to Luna, because I think Luna's the one who's going to hit the high ground. 9, because he used that buyback, it just means he has to play a little bit more safe. Last fight, we saw this amazing RP come up from Seb. It caught both the 1 position and 2 position of Tundra out, but it just wasn't enough. 9 popped that buyback, and then there's nothing left to jump him. Topson died, the RP was expended, and I don't know how much damage he did during that fight, but it had to be like in the mid-thousands.
So what the move's going to be from Tundra now. They've got the just ready to go. Skeeter very close also to the Satanic mid. Topson's been caught out. He's trading and he's gone. He's out of the game. No buyback on Topson. Once again, just being caught out by these stuns from Tundra, Snaking and Fada each and every time. Making Topson have a pretty rough one here. Another death on the Void Spirit, and that will give Tundra the space to take a fair few of these tier 2s, if not all of them, away from OG.
But OG, they sort of also identified the problem in their team fight. You can see Seb, he's gone for an unusual item in the Aether Lens. He actually does this a lot in pubs, but you don't see it much from other Magnus players. He just wants to play solely for the Skewer. That extra 250 range, 225 range, getting them into your tier 4s and taking the best fight that you can.
Oh, Skeeter! My goodness, nearly being able to 100 to 0 him, but not quite able to do so. Nine just comes in for the sidelines, curse it down, catches No-Tail, catches Saxa. That's the 2 supports out, no buybacks available. Sure, they brought down Skeeter once, but this was part of the plan for Tundra. It's why they gave him the Aegis. He's able to frontline it in, head over towards Samael. Is 4 dead. Samael just getting absolutely hammered down by the Eclipse and the damage from 9. As that's a team wipe here. Tundra, they've got the space to push in onto this top racks now. Fortification will come out, but OG, they'll have Thompson back up in 5 seconds, but everybody else out for nearly a minute. No buybacks available, and Tundra, they know it. Straight over to the tier 4s. GG is called. Nothing to be done here by OG as Tundra will take this game 1 with such spectacular stuff as the 9 Midwinter Wyvern, as they're going to be pretty happy with this one. Tundra pretty much out creativitying the creativity you usually expect from OG here, Howie.
Yeah, and yesterday, when I watched OG games, I had to ask if Chen was broken. But this game, honestly, like Winter Wyvern, as you already mentioned, 9, what happened that game? How much damage did he do? He did 34k damage when the Nyx highest on his team was 17k. Yeah. He did over double the Nyx hero, and it's not like he was just farming. He was active everywhere. Every time he pokes an OG hero, they basically had to go back to base. He just did so much, and my goodness, that is terrifying.
I mean, for OG, after this game 1, what do you think the reaction is going to be like? How do you stop this from happening? I mean, are there sort of better heroes, better ways to draft to not allow a hero like the Wyvern to come into the mid and have the impact that it did have here, like things that they were missing this time? Or is this a case where you do have to look at that sort of performance and say, well, we just don't want to play against that?
Well, you definitely should be scared of 9's Winter Wyvern, but I don't want them to overreact. You should feel like, okay, we had 2 strength cores on the side lane, and Void Spirit sort of had an unfortunate mid lane. If we had different heroes, like maybe this hero isn't as strong as you think, it's very easy to over-index on a loss and just be really results-oriented, but OG has always been good at identifying what was the real problems in the game, and maybe they'll just like, oh, maybe we should just beat this hero next time.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they're indeed able to pick themselves up coming into game 2. As for game 1 of this best of 3, Tundra, they come in hitting hard. They'll start this series off with the advantage. 1 up at the moment to Tundra.
You love to see it. Tundra take the first game of this best of 3 against OG here in the upper bracket finals. We're watching the Western European TI10 qualifiers, by the way. And both of my panelists, both Trent and Milan, did not believe. They did not believe in the 9 Winter Wyvern or the 33 Broodmother for that matter. Milan, please explain yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, 9. I did not see much of this, but I don't think 9 will get to play much of a winter in this tournament. I know AOI said that they had 2 strength cores and such thing, but it really doesn't seem the balanced. Like it's just the Aghanims is just it's way too much damage, and there is not many things you can do against it. So I don't think he's gonna play it that much more in this tournament.
It's gonna get banned, Trent.
It was enjoyable to watch, I guess. That's it, huh? We're just done? I don't know. I feel like they'll leave it in. I don't know if they'll end up playing it again. To me, I was just mostly surprised that the Broods lane went so well. That was the part that really shocked me, and I think that's a huge part of this game. Like, to me, my takeaway from that game is, like, I don't want to deal with this Brood anymore. Because if we put that up against it, and his lane still went fine, and he got that tower at a decent timing, then what is going to stop it?
I mean, Brood, no matter what, is kind of gonna get his things done. Like, that's how people actually look at the good Broods. They're gonna do their thing, but it's like, at that 20-25 minute mark, do you have the lineup that cares about Brood? Do you have like 2 spider killers that gonna protect your supports? That's what kind of matters. And I think the biggest problem with the Winter Wyvern is the flexibility. He can be played mid, he can be played far, he can be played 4. As a matter of fact, you can put him mid, carry and offlane if your players are capable. Like, this hero is way too big of a enigma for like you to deal with. Like, what they pick it, I cannot counter it. It can go anywhere, and it will do the job anyway. But I think it's it's strongest at the core, because he can be both defensive and offensive power. When he's playing as 5, he's mostly like this defensive power.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a special shout out to the man on your screen right now, Fada. He played Nyx Assassin. He was definitely the meat shield of the team. At some point, OG was sitting on 13 kills in total, and 8 of those were on Fada. He was definitely able to, as they call it, tank the gank multiple times and use that vision to his advantage. I mean, speaking of vision as well, that's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Winter Wyvern, with that extra night vision, I feel like vision... It was, and then also with the Brood, of course, with the Spiderlings, it was all in Tundra's hands this game. Like, the vision game was totally theirs, Milan.
Yeah, at the nighttime it was so hard for OG to fight. The Luna plus Winter plus like the Brood Spiders, like, they have all the informations. They can pick and choose where they go, and especially against the lineups like Magnus, like he needs people to climb down. He needs the vision advantage, and quite the opposite, where Winter can always ulti 2 people. Like, it's so hard for OG. Was in a really tough spot in the mid game.
They were indeed, and they're now 1 game down in this best of 3. We're gonna find out how they're gonna claw themselves out of this one, or if perhaps Tundra will once again get another 2-0 in the upper bracket. We'll see you soon for game 2. Tundra or perhaps with Sniper from OG? We're going to find out. We're ready for game number 2 of this upper bracket finals, Western European DPC League, not DPC League, but TI10 qualifiers. More important than DPC League, because in the DPC League, both of these teams didn't do too hot. Actually, neither of these teams has seen the major this season or previous season for that matter. So them being here in this upper bracket finals is pretty darn exciting. I'm here with Milan and with Trent. And Trent, I mean, these two teams, them being in the upper bracket finals, were you expecting that going into this qualifier?
Based off of the bracket, yeah, I think so.
Oh.
I mean, it could have been Nigma. I had OG pegged a little bit higher than Nigma personally. I just kind of felt like OG were going to come in and do their thing. So, and then Liquid, of course, is the ultimate wild card. They're the team that will either win the group stage or lose the group stage at every tournament. So, yeah, this is not as surprising as I think some people may want it to be. I don't know. Tundra look good. They're very scary players.
How about you, Milan? Were you always a believer?
I had a lot of inside info, so it's like we scrimmed a lot of these teams, and my top 4 were OG and Liquid were first 2, and then Nigma and Tundra. I think Tundra third, but I expected Liquid to be much harder, but they're kind of they're getting there. But I think OG was my number 1 seed. And like we played them a bit, and they were very hot. They do this good shape of chaos. That's how I would describe them. The good shape of chaos, and they were onto it. You know, they would just fight us non-stop, like in their best days. And I was like, oh, these guys are back. You know, watch out.
Yeah, definitely, but back, it seemed, at least up until that previous game we just watched, because your former team, Tundra, they've been crushing it here with this Winter Wyvern, Winter Wyvern mid. But do you feel like that win that we just witnessed, was that the combination of the Brood Winter Wyvern, or do you feel like the level of play of Tundra in general, they'll be able to keep up with OG and go toe-to-toe regardless of their draft? For sure, the capability of players is no question. Like Skita, 9, these are all not 3-3. All 5 of them are extremely talented players, and I think no matter what the heroes, they're up toe to toe to these players. But yeah, I think when all 4 of these big teams, they're all like skill based, very close to each other. It's gonna come down to the draft. It's gonna come down to momentum. It's gonna come down to a strategy. You know, if you pick the strongest hero in meta and all the skill levels are the same, you're gonna win. Just based on that. It's very simple. So, I mean, just pick the right heroes, Trent. I think we're gonna have the draft in front of us very soon. But pick the right hero. Sounds very simple. We did have.
Turns out the right hero might be Chen and Wyvern, so I commit Wyvern.
Who saw that coming?
Not that simple quite yet.
The spider is gone.
We do have the spider is banned out. The ancient apparition still removed as well, meaning the viper is left in the pool. That was the hero that OG banned out previous game, and the Io and axe removed. Previously we had the axe and the gyro removed on the side of Tundra, so they switched it up a little bit as well. First pick goes with Tundra. Radiant side for Tundra once again. Dire for OG.
Mirana. It's a
never
good
go
hero.
with it.
It's a good hero.
I mean, you're the Mirana specialist, right? Have you is there anything that you don't like playing against as a Mirana?
Oh yeah, there's few annoying heroes, but I did, as I said, they're just uncomfortable. There's no real counter to Mirana, especially like countering support it's not really where you wanna go. And OG goes to their second strat, right? I talked about this before the game 1. They have 2 strats that they showed so far. I'm sure they have many more, but one is Magnus, the other is Alchemist. And now their Magnus got beaten. Now I'll just do the Lion Alchemist, and they do the Terrorblade for Skater. Like these teams, they knew this is coming. Like they knew they're gonna pick a TB if this comes out, and I'm curious how it's gonna pay off. They immediately banned the draw. Like this is also like a go-to OG hero. I'm wondering
the TB too, like the piercing and everything.
There's one forgotten Thompson hero that we have seen in this qualifier, but not for OG. It's the Arc Warden. The Thompson is the Arc Warden specialist.
Oh,
it's
please
really...
no. I've seen some games on that Arc Warden that I don't really want to.
And Arc Warden has a good matchup on TB. That's why I'm mentioning it.
Wait, does he still have Rune Fusion as his eggs?
No.
Okay, good.
Maybe. I don't.
I actually don't remember what it's at.
I know his shard is pretty dumb. Oh, the wyvern is gone. That's an easy ban.
Wyvern removed. I guess no real surprise there.
yeah.
But this is also something that Tundra was expecting to have happen, so I bet they have something new up their sleeves as well.
I forgot, it's the second Spark Wraith now. Yeah. So, like, you get Spark Wraith, and then another one sits there, and then it activates in 3. Oh, jeez. And then we didn't even have that back the last time we had those, like, massive Arc War games. I mean, obviously the other regions are getting their 100-minute Arc Warden games right now, so...
I mean, we have our 100-minute
thanks.
games that just don't include an Arc Warden, making them maybe a little bit more exciting. You know, the Liquid Chicken Fighters earlier today. It definitely was a little bit of a brawl. We've got a Terrorblade in the game, so my standard question then is, do you, as Tundra, want to ban out the PL? Or is there any other carry that you're worried about, as they do seem to be targeting the carry heroes in the second ban phase?
I might think about Thompson heroes instead, because, like, I feel like a lot of his specialty heroes are kind of annoying for a Terrorblade, like the Zeus, maybe some sort of, like, Pugna shenanigans here too, depending. Could see something like that.
Zeus is one of the hardest mid counters, but the Tundra is looking through the eyes of which hero that gets an Axe at minute 12 is the best carry against the Terrorblade. The Drow and Slark, these are two that they did before, and like these are two the good ones. And PL Axe is a bit underwhelming. It's not as strong. Like
it's not game changing.
I'm thinking about the Gyro doesn't really have a good matchup on the Terrorblade, but with the Axe, with the flexibility of it being mid and carry for OG, I think we might see OG pick up the Gyro. It's also one of the better carries versus Mirana, at least in lane. Like Mirana hates. Yeah, sorry.
What about the Tinker?
Mirana hates the carry that can help on side lane. Like when you're laning and then in the woods, like the Gyro just comes and pushes rocket on you, and then like you cannot out-trade the support, and that's where Mirana excels the most. And he hates it. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, sorry, I'm done. Sorry.
It's okay. The other Axe carries that OG's gone for, that I have not yet picked up for in terms of which heroes they like when they have the Alchemist, is Medusa. They give her early Axe. We've seen during the DPC season also the Monkey King and Void Spirit attempted, which are also all still in the pool.
The Ember too.
They go for Lash.
The Ember as well. Yeah.
They pre-planned the Lash Oracle. The Lash Oracle is one of the strongest Oracle combinations with like Huskar and DP, and they are gonna last pick the Thompson here. I'm pretty sure. The Thompson doesn't play Lash Rock. Like I literally never saw him play Lash. This is some male hero, and Alchemist is Seb.
He plays Oracle. Doesn't he?
He does play the Oracle, but I don't think we'll go that far.
Not with the new Scepter, unfortunately.
I'm just curious, like, what is the mid hero that really...
We got Ember, Tinker, and Zeus, right? They all have really
Yeah,
good
but he doesn't play Tinker.
Well,
and
we don't think.
No, I mean...
It's such a miracle hero. Shouldn't he play Tinker?
Miracle plays Tinker, not Thompson.
Play?
Miracle does play, but Thompson, no. Thompson, he's a Zeus specialist, and they need, like... They still need the Axe here. What does Lash? I mean, I kind of know what Lash
should
Axe
play
do,
it too,
but...
guys. All right, I'm just saying. Yeah, maybe Thompson, I guess, since he is the one playing in this game, will be the one we'll talk about. It's a pretty good idea.
We got a Tidehunter coming out, so that will be most likely our 33 hero. And that reminded me, you know, for some reason Tide and TA are you know, linked in my mind together. Crazy things. But the TA and the Invoker are both still in the pool. We saw them banned out very early on. So for both of these mids, heroes that they really like. So both 9 and Thompson get their pick. Last overall pick goes the way of OG. So they get a little bit of an edge there, if I'm calculating correctly.
Mm-hmm. I think it should be the Zeus ban from the Tundra, and the other ban. I mean, I'm seeing the Dota buff says it's Arc Warden. I'm feeling the Arc Warden for Thompson. Depends on what they pick mid for 9. Like that's gonna give a lot of info for the OG. Like,
all right, so let's say that you're thinking about that Arc Warden. What should 9 take to try and like dissuade Thompson from going that route?
They need something to like help on backlines, like catching these oracles and lions. So they might think of like Void Spirit themselves.
There goes the Invoker. Yeah.
Like something that's gonna follow up on a Ravage and just kill. I mean, there's Lion, and you're like, oh, I don't want to pick a Spirit into Lion, but there's Abaddon. Like you have this margin of error where you get stunned, he gets removed, you pop your Dissimulate or whatever, and then you still do your job. Or there's like a counter Ravage that makes you live through this first disables. So I think they will go for a Void Spirit on Tundra. It's very non-special hero. Another one of many of them.
The silence is so good this game too.
Yeah, so that's the goal. Just get the Axe and kill the Orca and Lion, and then the fight is gonna play itself out.
Well, they ban out the Pugna and the Pango as the last two bans for Tundra, and we'll see what OG chooses to remove, because if they came to the same conclusion as you, obviously we'll see that Void Spirit removed. But they're taking their time, and they still have plenty of time. OG is definitely one of the faster drafting teams, meaning they've got a lot of bonus time left at the end to think about what they're gonna do with their last ban and their last pick.
They ban the Pack. It's the same idea, and it might be even more signature for now in the Pack. And it's a very, very annoying hero to deal with. And yeah, I know Arc Warden has a good matchup on Pack a bit, so that might mean that
you still believe in it.
I really don't. They kind of need a Terrorblade solution. This Lashes is not good enough. It helps, but they still need Ember, Zeus, or Arc Warden. Depends. There's still an Ember that tops on signature.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes
Razor's
the Razor.
Dead. So that's not a leading stun though. That's kind of interesting. It does follow up well on Ravage, but that means that they don't really have arrow setup other than like Ravage.
Snake needs no setup.
Yeah, the good Mirana players don't need it. Is the thing
He's
with
not
the
even an
Razor?
arrow Mirana, dude. He's to steal your camps, Mirana. That's all he does.
The Razor 23 is very hard to counter. Razor is one of the hardest heroes to counter with. Like what counters Razor? Like Sniper and Queen of Pain. These heroes are not popular. So like now you're in this position where you need to counter a Terrorblade to win the game, but you cannot pick a hero that's gonna get dumpster on Razor. Then you're not gonna have an impact anyway. So it doesn't matter that your hero is good against Terrorblade. So the Tundra are putting themselves in a very good position here. The draft. I really like it.
And up one game. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so is Arc Warden playable though? You look at this like it looks pickable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milan with the foresight. Love it.
One in the book.
That means you have to go for them now. That is the rule. I hope you're
Yes,
aware.
that is kind of the rule. Do you feel like this Arc Warden is still good enough for them to take this game then, force a third game out?
It's really hard to tell. If I knew what Lash Aghanim's do, I could say, but otherwise I think I need to go with Tundra this game. Like 3-3, it's hard to bet against 3-3 Tidehunter and Skitter Terrorblade. Yeah.
And Snake King Mirana. I mean, this would be
Snake
5 games in a row. Four wins straight. Snake King Mirana.
He watched all my replays, man. I can tell.
Like, damn, they are definitely feeling it. Oh man, they actually have like all their signature heroes here. This is great, except for Razor. Razor's whatever, but
everybody plays Razor. I mean, Skeeter. This will be Skeeter's 4th game of Terrorblade also, and the Razor. Razor's. Yeah.
All right, I'm not jumping ship. I'll stick with OG. I believe in the OG prep. They've got their Alchemist. It's a strat for a reason. Soxa is just gonna, get perfect hexes the entire game, and they'll just win. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I think we wouldn't be opposed to that. It means we will get a 3rd game to this series, but let's find out what's going to happen. We're finding out together with Odie Pixel on AUI.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, game 2 between Tundra and OG, and indeed, as Trent says, we're getting pretty much both teams' bread and butter here, Owie. So, sort of, what's your read from these 2 drafts that we've got? Not too many surprises really when it comes to who's playing what. A lot of very familiar heroes.
Yeah, I think both teams sort of knew exactly what was going to happen in this draft, and I always love when that happens because it means that it's sort of a clash of ideas between both teams. If you go in and both of you are picking your best stuff, knowing what the opponent's going to pick, you're saying your ideas are specifically better about the game than theirs are. And I think that's what's going to happen this game. We'll see who has the better ideas, who is left, who is right.
I mean, and in your mind, looking at this, whose idea do you prefer?
I personally prefer Tundra's idea here, actually. I don't think that the Aghanims from Alchemist has as high impact on the heroes from OG. Maybe the Arc Warden one is really good. It basically doubles your Spark Wraith, which I've never seen it, which is why I can't say, but I could imagine that being really strong, being hard to run into, and then you just like, you put a lot of Spark Wraiths, you farm them out with Alchemist, and you eventually outscale them, or something like that. I also want to mention, the draft was really cool this game, because there's just a lot of like, sort of prophylactic picks where like, you know they're going to pick Mirana, so you pick Alchemist, and then you know they're going to pick Terrorblade, so you pick Lion with it, right? It's like preempting the move. And you saw some of this individual metagame in this game specifically, where everyone knew who each other was going to pick, and they still picked like the heroes into it.
I mean, and you talk about sort of the Agh's potential for Thompson. I mean, the Agh's Leshrac, is that not, do you think, what they're looking towards as maybe an idea to easily, you know, deal the damage rather early on with the amp up that Nihilism is going to provide against some of these cores, you know, like a Terrorblade who's not really going to want to have a BKB too early in the game?
I could see it working, actually, specifically as you mentioned versus Terrorblade. He won't want to buy BKB, and I think it does turn Leshrac... Does it turn Leshrac ethereal? I don't know if it does. I've never actually bought the item because it's not something I've personally explored.
Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's turning everyone around your ethereal.
Yeah, but they can remove it with the Abaddon shield is the thing.
That's true. Actually, that is... Well, yeah. Yeah, that is true, actually. Fada's moves could be pretty big this game against that. So if indeed it is about an Axe Rush on the Lesh, yeah, Tundra do have a way to deal with that. You're absolutely right.
So I just don't know again.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something I have enough info to confidently say. I would say it's probably best on the Arc Warden, but so far they've given all the Aghanims to Sumail, just sort of accelerated his gameplay. What I've usually liked from OG, how they use the Alchemist, is they always accelerate their carry with it. I don't feel that Leshrac really accelerates his game in the same way a Monkey Kings or a Drow Rangers would.
No, well, we'll see what sort of idea they have got going for the Mirror OG. As we say, definitely it's going to be played into some of Tundra's finest in terms of heroes that they've just been winning consistently with. That big one being the Skeeter Terrorblade. OG's got to have a solid answer to it.
In bot lane, Skitter, he's picked this Terrorblade specifically versus Alchemist because of Acid Spray. He has 9 armor right now. Acid Spray does way less than it did. Last time OG was playing this, they played it versus Spectre and an Axe against a Viking. It had huge impact in the lane. I would say it won both its lanes there. I don't think it's going to be the same versus Terrorblade.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And when you sort of look towards the two big cores of both sides, you know, how does the timings of an Arc Warden clash or compare with that you expect to reach as a Terrorblade? Like, what sort of different portions of the game are we going to see these heroes, you know, hit each other the hardest?
So this was a huge matchup during the KL Major. It was the 3 carries there were Terrorblade, Arc Warden, and Morphling. And what happened in that major was actually people would start running Terrorblade mid, it was Ramses and Arteezy specifically, against Arc Warden. And you would actually win that matchup because you had illusions to tank Arc Warden spells and you just out-CS them with meta. They didn't go to opt for that for Tundra this game, but what that sort of taught me, that meta, was that Terrorblade does have a tempo advantage against Arc Warden if you can have a really good lane. I do think he's going to have that this game, so if you can get something like Dragonlance, SMY, you know, some BKB, even a Blink Dagger at some point, we could see Tundra going for like a lot of tempo and trying to end this game.
Absolutely, yeah. And for 6, what have we got?
Sorry, I just clicked on 3-3. I think he's starting no items into a Helm of Iron Will Rush.
And he's gotten away with it. I'll tell you what,
so
11 CS.
He's going to go for Dominator first, which is really good because it allows him to push Leshrac out of lane. I was thinking at the start of this game that I'm a bit worried because Leshrac should have a good timing against Tidehunter. Once you hit 6 or even level 5 with the Edict, you can push him out of lane and Tidehunter doesn't really have any counterplay. However, the Helm of the Dominator completely nullifies it because the armor works against Edict, which is a huge deal, and Leshrac can't stand against the creep. This is a really cool idea coming out from 3-3. He always has some fresh ideas about Dota. I love it.
I mean, he absolutely does. We saw it in the other series again the other day against Liquid, right? Again, where they're 11k down. He was also playing the Tide. He goes for the Aghanims first time, plays a huge part in turning it around, holding from the high ground, and as you say here, once again, doing something a little different that could have pretty big impact quite early on in this match.
And I think the cool thing about it is just how pre-thought and how well thought out the ideas are. In that TI10 game that you mentioned, he went 4-1-4. So he is thinking about that build since level 8. Like, that's so much earlier in the game than what you would expect. And it ends up... I honestly think that build ended up winning them the game in the end. Like, it stalled so much. I'm curious to see how this helm will work as well, because he is having a pretty good lane, even with Mirana sort of roaming to the enemy jungle here.
No, absolutely is. And to tell you, he's not having a pretty good lane. Bottom lane, 7 Saxa. They are getting bullied pretty heavily by Fada. Fada continues to just sort of run the two of them out of the lane. They're having to pop a lot of regen. Saxa having to take the walk back to base. As Fada doing an excellent job of just securing Skeeter all the space in the world. There's not going to be any early pressure on this Terror Blade. Same to be said for Sumail. Both side lane position ones getting good farm right now. The mid matchup 22 for 7 on 9 against the 15 for 1 for Thompson. They might have him actually this time. Skeeter with the Metamorphosis. A few hits. You get another one in. They're looking to dive. Miscalling the shield. Not enough. Skeeter's trying to cut through the trees to find him. Won't be able to get the vision though. So Seb will live. Very low on the regen. Sax has come back into the lane, has brought a salve with him. So we'll be able to top Seb back up, so Seb can remain down here.
I also want to mention that 9 is having a fantastic lane versus Arcord in the middle. There's even a Marauder roaming on him here.
Ooh, Thompson having to juke the arrow. We'll keep him alive. I'd say that Snake King's in, leaping forward. He's looking for Thompson. Needs a couple more hits though. Thompson starting to salve up, sneaking around the tree line. Snake King, he's not going to have enough damage in the tank to finish him off. Still has 1 leap left to try and break away from the two of them, but Thompson, he's got the Flux skilled, and they've got the nuke damage with the Purifying Flames. They will be able to punish Snake King for diving in deep, and of course at the same time, down bottom, OG, they heal up, they're able to strike back, and they do manage to get farther out of the lane.
Yeah, and in both lanes, the Tundra support sort of going down. Both in lanes that they're already winning. They're going for Seb here though.
They'll get him.
Pop on the shield.
The shield damage from Fada, it blows him up. Saxa will turn with the Hex. See if they can run him down.
They can run him down, damn boots.
They've got a shield as well if they want to look to dive the tower, and they do. Skeeter shielded up by Fada, they're in. And Tundra, they'll hit back just as hard, getting the revenge there for losing Fada earlier in the matchup.
I was going to say that it's a huge deal to get kills in lanes where you're losing, but Tundra immediately strike back, and they're not done yet. They're going on to mid here.
Yeah, this aggression here. Straight on to Thompson. Thompson continues to have No Tail stand by his side. Fada's swinging over. They'll get in, they'll land the slow here with the reach of the field. They'll take out Thompson, they'll take out No Tail. Double kill for 9 in the mid lane as Tundra, already just 5 minutes in, making huge moves across the map. They're at a 2k lead. OG's not ready for this pace.
And this is a completely different answer than what we saw from Viking against OG's Alchemist. In that series, Alchemist was free farming. This one, Skitter, I mean, it's not like Alchemist is getting full zone from the lane or something, but he's almost doubling up.
Nine.
Oh, 9.
It gets another one, enough mana with the 1 charge to get another plasma field off. I mean, 9 already starting off 6 minutes in, 3 kills here for the mid lane Razor.
He's really beasting it, and Razor is actually a hero that can take over the game. We were talking about this Terrorblade versus Arcwater matchup, but something that completely breaks that is if Aghanim's BKB Refresher Razor just runs in at the Arc Warden. There's nothing to prevent Arc Warden from getting God on. Even Oracle save. Oh my god. What, he just solo killed him or?
No, Snake's in. He has the illusion on him.
Okay, his illusion. Okay, that's great.
I mean, yeah, Skeeter picking up kills whilst he's chilling, hitting the creeps in the lane, thanks to that illusion being sent over to back up Snake King's move. I mean, this is looking pretty rough out. We're 7 minutes in. They're at a 3k lead as Tundra, they're popping off big time very quickly to start with Thompson mid. He's trying to TP out. Have they got enough damage? They don't. Thompson will manage to get his main self back to the base. And still, it's back to the base. It's going to be time off the map for Thompson as Thompson continues to have a slow start. Sumail, he's come over with the rotation. See if he has enough damage to take down 9. He doesn't! A terrible rotation there from Sumail will cost him his life. 9 gets another kill. No Tail's running up to the high ground. 9, he's going to look to chase this down. 33 turns with the helm of the Dawn Wildwing Ripper to rip No Tail's life away from him.
Have you ever seen those videos of like a Ogre Magi pretending to be a neutral creep? And then he stuns the enemy when they come to farm it, because that's what 3-3 just did with his Wildwing Ripper. It was just in the jungle. It's pulling random ways away from OG. Last time OG played Leshrac and Alchemist, they had like 4 times 3 stacks in their jungle for them to accelerate. But Tundra, they're just playing at such a high pace that OG supports aren't able to do this. They're running them over on the map.
They really are. And there's a lot of supports to run over with sort of the start that they're having on the Alk and the Arc Ward, and they've got kind of 4 supports going at the moment, OG. They're falling behind big time.
Ooh, I just thought Tidehunter, I think part of what he can do with his creep as well is he can just stack ages from himself. I think it's something 3-3 would do. And it's they're Moonlight Shadowed onto Thompson here, just taking over the enemy triangle.
I mean, where are OG going to get the space to get their farm on these cores now?
You have to kill the Tundra heroes. If you don't kill them, they're going to run at you too much. And here they go. They're going on to Skitter here. Do they have damage though?
Let's see, Skitter. He has got enough for the one charge in a Sunder. See if he gets it off. One's popped. And he's not actually quite got enough mana for the Sunder as of yet. We'll step to the side. Skitter, he's going to be able to pick up a kill on Saxa. Samael at the same time dying to 9. Was that a solo kill by 9 in the mid lane with the help of the Dark Troll Summoner? In fact, from the Helm of the Dom that 33's playing with from across the map. I mean, this is just a pure highlight reel for Tundra.
Oh my god. The plays they're making are so cool too. Like who Leshak versus Razor, if he runs at you, you know, you can TP out, he has no cancel. But 3-3, he's just adding on to his teammate's play. Suddenly there's one creep mid. It changes the dynamic of the matchup, and Tundra, they're putting pressure on all 3 lanes right now.
OG CPing in for the defense in mid. Now they've got the 3 of them. They've got to be careful with Samael though. Samael was the only core that was really having a good start. He's come to mid twice and died 2 times to 9. They will get the catch on Snaking. They've got the damage with the 3 of them. 9 trying to poke back in onto Saxa, but he won't head up to the high ground. So OG, they'll get themselves a kill. They need a lot more than that though to recover the deficit they're at right now.
That's a very important kill. Anytime you're behind like this, the only way you can sort of move forward on the map is if enemy heroes are dead. Because Snaking is dead, you know, you can sort of, you see Thompson, he can push a little bit further bottom. Maybe Alchemist can farm a little bit more. I mean, Tundra, they're so far ahead that they're still oppressive, but it's a good start for OG to try to come back.
OG's got to be very cautious. We've seen Tundra dive past this tier 1 many times before. Samael, I don't know how safe he is standing as close as he is here. The smoke comes out from the plasma field. Dark Troll Summoner. He's going to get the setup on him. They're just running him down. Under the tier 2, Samael will be safe enough for now. But falling very low. They'll have the space and aggression to push down the tier 1. Arrow coming in from the side. Snaking. He lands the hit onto No-Tail. Can't get past Samael though. So No-Tail will be fine. Well, at least for now. I say that 9 and Fodder. They're still looking to get him past the tier 2, and they will. Plasma field out. 9 sweeps by. Picks up another kill. 7-0-1 now. As 9 continues to pop off, playing with the momentum that he built up in that game 1. Bottom lane. Thompson trying to get in onto Skeeter, but underneath the tower. Easy time for backup to come in from Tundra. Actually doesn't need to. 9 holds back on the TP. Maybe sees instead a chance to get the wraparound in from the side. Won't go for it though. Thompson having Samael and Saxa by his side. They won't look to poke at this Tundra. Snaking. We'll find Seb's courier though passing by on the top half of the jungle. And 33 with the pressure will now be able to take this tier 1 tower away without OG being able to do anything to hold it.
So Tundra have taken both the mid tower and the enemy section. They're just running into the jungle.
Seb. And he can't get out of this. He tries to TP, but the Yules is there. I mean, this Razor just completely taking over the game here with the way that Tundra are, as a team, are just enabling 9's aggression. I think it was sort of Milan who talked about the strength of the 23rd pick Razor in a draft, and 9 certainly showing that here. He's having a pretty free game.
Yeah, and OG, they do get some compensation. They managed to get this bot tower. I was actually trying to make a point that you've opened up the map by taking the mid and safe lane tower away from OG. But Tundra, they were already next level, making the move as the tower falls. Seb, he's not really expecting that, because usually it's more systematic, methodical, and slow. Tundra, they're just zooming around, and they've already killed him as the tower's going down.
Bottom, Thompson. He's got to look to get out of it. He's going to go for the TP out, but the damage is done. Skeeter with the illusions of the Metamorphosis will take Thompson out before he can get away.
Ooh, and this is how you want to play Terrorblade. Oh, mid lane though, they're going on to 9 here. This is a big kill if they can get it.
I mean, 9's pretty tanky. He's got the Yules as well to keep himself safe. They're ready to turn. Snaking will get fingered here by Saxa, but Saxa still falls. 9 charges in over towards Samael. The link going as well. Samael's got to step out to the side. Seb has not got any damage to turn back in onto the 2 of them. He's trying. I don't know how much he's going to achieve from getting a few hits on this though, as the slows are coming out from Fodder and 9. Seb's got to get back under the tier 2.
Meanwhile, top lane, you have Helmet Dominator Tidehunter apparently solo killing a tier 2 at 13 minutes in the game.
I mean, he's chilling. He really is. In 33, I mean, call him Ash Ketchum, because I think he's sort of caught them all. We've seen him play with so many different neutrals already in his first 13 minutes. And everyone to sort of perfect efficiency, from Wild Wings to pulling waves, to Troll Summoners setting up mid, to Alpha Walls adding that extra damage to push down objectives and take out creep waves. He's doing it all.
And there's even a triple stack of the Ancients. Like, I don't know if 3-3 was the one who did this, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was. He's just doing so much while staying in his lane and taking a tier 2. This build looks phenomenal. I expect it. He's going for the Vlads next just to support the Terrorblade. Honestly, I saw 3-3 even build some Satanics on offlane Tidehunter in his pubs. Sort of expecting something like that, but no, this game's crazy. There's a lot to learn from, but OG, they're not out of it yet. They can still clutch this game.
I mean, he's been caught in the mid hit. I just have no tail by the side. False Promise is at the ready if Sumail needs it. I'll try and turn, see if they've got the damage to bring down 9. Stuns in, 9 falling low, 9 off to the side, but he'll go down. OG finally able to bring down the Razor. A big kill to catch. Can they get more from this? They're trying to chase down Snaking. Just fast enough, though, to get out of the reach of Sumail and to split Earth. Finally, OG getting pretty much the biggest core out of the game right now. 9 finally has to sit on the sidelines.
That's an 8 kill streak. Unfortunately, it goes for no tail. It's not his fault. They needed everything to burst him down, but that's exactly what OG need to come back. Yeah. They need to overwhelm Tundra when they overextend. When you have more of the map, sometimes it means that your resources are going to spread thin. Like, just imagine if we draw a line through the map control. If you have 75% of the map, if you want to take control of that, you have less places where you have more places where your heroes have to be. OG are more focused, you know? They bring all 5 heroes, I mean, there's an Arc Warden clone, and they take down 9's Razor. It's a very big comeback play from them.
I'll see what they can do with this. Got some good stacks here for Seb to clean up. And we'll get the Ags pretty much done here. So Seb's going to be able to pass that over. We'll see which way it goes. I would imagine it's still likely to be Sumail as that position 1. If anything, just for those extra stats, giving Sumail that chance to survive and dish out the damage in the fights.
I could definitely see the eggs on him working. They're trying to find Saxa in the trees up top. He's juking. He's fine. He's fine. Hey, OG, they finished a little bit of items. They have the Maelstrom on Thompson, who's actually opted to go for Treads over Travels on Arc Warden in this game, just because of how hard the early game was. So he's not scaling the same way, you know, we saw in the C qualifiers, these epic 2-hour-long games that Black had to cast like 18 of. He's just struggling. This might not be the same Arc Warden. It's a Treads Arc Warden.
Oh, it's going to indeed take time. As you say, he's just sort of been sitting in that bottom half of the net worth. He's had to compensate and get these.
And I don't know if he has time. Look at Tundra. Same as OG last week. They're pressing the issue. They're just going to take this objective on the map.
I know, OG's got to kind of let it go. There's not really too much they can do when it comes to bringing together a team fight around the pit, especially when the Metamorphosis is up for Skeeter.
Flashback Aghanims.
I'll see what sort of an impact it has. I mean, when you do the maths, do the numbers, it is going to allow him to kick out a lot of damage. Eternal Shroud done as well. So Sumail is going to be pretty survivable on the front lines, especially with No-Tail having the backup. Oh, arrows connecting like that, though, might cause issues. Sumail's going to turn with the Nihilism. It's actually not really amping up that much at all. Tundra seem being pretty unfazed there by that aggressive attempt from Sumail. The Ravage comes out. He catches the 3 of them plus the Tempest double. That's 7 Sumail gone. The Tempest double to fall as well. Well, no, in fact, they've got their eyes set on bigger targets. They're going to go for the real heroes, chasing down No-Tail. As No-Tail false promises himself. He's got no escape available, though. He knows what's inevitable, as his life will come to an end. Another kill for 9. Straight from the Roshan down the mid lane. They've got the setup on the high ground. They're looking towards him. Arrows coming in. It's going to connect onto Thompson, but they won't go forward. Zax are at the side, ready with the stuns. Tundra will respect that. They won't dive in onto Thompson.
Look at this play from Fada. He's even dragged the bottom wave. The amount of efficiency coming out from the wave drags, everything from Tundra's side is phenomenal, but they're going on to Tidehunter mid here. This is their chance. They have no Ravage.
They're in. Stun control. Fada, he'll offer up an emphatic shield. It won't be enough to save him. Finger comes in big from Saxa. They'll burst down the tide.
Honestly, one of my favorite things from the last fight was that looked like overwhelming force from Tundra. But Skitter was actually just farming his own Ancients in Triangle during that fight. So they got this extreme efficiency, dragging the bottom wave, getting Ancients, winning the fight. You know, they had the enemy shine all at the same time. And they're up 8k gold. They don't have Ravage, but one of the benefits of playing with these fast lane shoving heroes like Terrorblade, Mirana, Razor is that if you have cooldowns, you can always split push the lanes. That's even ameliorated because they pick up this illusion rune. And man, it's hard to play OG's map right now. They're doing a good job punishing Tundra when they overextend. but there's not that many opportunities when you're behind.
And the timer definitely still ticking for them in the sense that once Skeeter has his next time done the Skadi, they're going to be in position, Tundra, to start approaching high ground sieges. OG's got to be prepared. They've got to have some sort of defense to come in. A lot of it's going to rest on Sumail, what he can do as the Leshrac. You know, anytime OG do run this Seb Alchemist, getting that Ags and fueling it into Sumail, it does mean they're sort of going to be playing a core down, and even more than that this game, with Thompson still needing time to recover, get himself a few items. See, up in the jungle, they'll go to look to burst down 9, but 9's got the Aegis. He's going to be ready for another round. 15 seconds until the Ravage is back up for 33. Fada getting focused, still has the borrowed time to rely on Sumail. He's been silenced. False Promise comes out from No Tail to keep Sumail alive. Over to the side, they're on to Thompson. Thompson gets blown up. As Thompson down, they're heading towards Skeeter. Do they have the damage to take down the Terrorblade? They don't. Skeeter turns, gets the Thunder off. Ravage is ready to go. 33 catches all remaining heroes on OG. As OG get team wiped by Tundra.
Tips out onto Seb. And you know, OG, they're trying. It's close. Terrorblade almost dies there. They just don't have enough damage, but Tundra, I think that was a Ravage like coming down in cooldown during the fights. They're baiting out the fight. Perfect Ravage, and now look at this. And, you know, Tundra, they're doing so much on the map. They're hitting mid tier 2. They're hitting top tier 3. They're just doing everything. Even Snaking's running to get bottom control because they understand the state of this game. Their win condition this game is not necessarily to kill the Raxes. It's to get full map control. Don't let Archward and Alchemist farm. Outscale them because you have a refresher on Tide. You have more items. You're stronger that way. It's a very methodical, like, proper way to play Dota compared to like a lot of the more aggressive approaches. Snaking.
Oh, Sack's up. He's under the blink. Is he going to be able to buy enough time for the rest of them to head over? Sumail, it's not going to be able to get close enough by the looks of it, and if anything, has to be a little careful. Skeeter is in the neighborhood, and meanwhile, 9, he's killing off Seb top. Seb steps up, a quick kill onto him. OG, they really want to, they're still trying to go for this, but the Bros under there from Skeeter, keeping Snaking healed up. Sumail still on the front lines as he got enough damage to kill Snaking. He's trying to chase him. Snaking will finally fall, but it's been a lot of pressure here from Sumail. Sumail has got enough to deal with the rest of them. 9, he's in with the BKB, ready to chase down Sumail with the static link. It's Thompson, he's been surrounded by 33 Fowler and Skeeter. Thompson's trying to fight them off. He's got nothing to offer against the three of them as Thompson goes down. 9, still with the movement speed, closing in on Sumail. Another slow from the plasma field. He's got your scepter in 8 seconds, not quite soon enough to grab him. Meanwhile, in the trees, Skeeter's on the hunt for Saxa. Saxa jumps out to the side, but Skeeter's able to find him with the reflection as Saxa slowly dying there to an illusion of himself. He will live long enough to TP out, and in fact, it's enough. They don't have any vision or ways to cut through the trees, so he won't die today here. Saxa making it back to safety. But not the same can't be said indeed for some of OG's cores. Thompson down again. Tundra now in position to push this bottom creep wave round and take away that final tier 2. Still just at the early timing here of 21 minutes in.
I even just watched Fada run into Elk's acid spray and deny 2 range creeps 21 minutes into the game. And another great fight for Tundra. You know, Skitter, he saves Snaking for long enough, baits OG in, and Thompson, he comes in and he's just stuck with the treads. He can't get out. Also, I didn't know how the Leshrac eggs works, but it does make Leshrac ethereal. I saw in that fight. It gives him extra move speed, and he doesn't take any increased magic damage. So it is quite strong, a lot stronger than what I expected. Okay. But my apologies to the audience, because honestly, I have never, like, I've seen the item like once or twice. It's not something that we usually see, like a lot of OG strats.
Yeah, I would say, don't worry, Laowi. It doesn't even say in the tooltip that it makes himself.
Oh, why would it?
So,
you don't deserve to know from Dota.
We can blame Valve on that one. Seb, they've found him. He's going to get the ult off. It doesn't matter. Skeeter at this stage with the Skadi pretty much done 100 gold. Now, what can you do? This is the Terrorblade at that incredible mass, at this incredible timing that has enabled the hero to just do so well. And particularly in the hands of Skeeter, finding success again and again. Maybe a few more times than you'd maybe expect teams to let him have it. As Tundra, as we did see, very comfortable draft, comfortable picks, and it is showing much more so than what you'd maybe expect from OG with this sort of lineup. OG not having a great time at all here. Down 29-9, 14k lead at the moment for Tundra. OG's got to come out with something spectacular to turn this one around, because at the moment, it's looking like Tundra are going to have the clean sweep here in this series.
Yeah, and look at Saxa. He is beasting it. He prevented a tier 2 death just by sort of pulling the wave. Oh, Sumail.
Going in on him. 33 has got a Ravage as well if he sees a good chance to get in on the fight. Sumail trying to turn things. Fada, he's got the Porro time good to go. Won't seize an opportunity for the Ravage, but they can play it cool here, Tundra. They don't need to force any aggression as long as they're not losing anybody, they're fine.
OG just got their second tier 2 neutral item, by the way. It's 24 minutes into the game, and they only have 2 of the neutral items that drop at 17. And this is with Last Track, Alchemist, Archord, and heroes that you typically consider to farm neutrals a lot.
Sumail. He's going for Fada. Saxo's got the stun here, 33. He's on and onto the Ravage. Stun will come out, Concoction onto 33. And still just not quite the damage at all here. Skeeter more than fine, turns over towards Sumail. No tell. He's got the false promise, holds on to the last moment really to pop it onto Sumail. Sumail will try for the TP out, but 33 pops the Ravage, catches No Tail and Sumail. No escape for them. 4 dead again on OG as Tundra. I mean, they really are doing it here, and so many times we've seen in this upper bracket run, they are making quite the case for themselves here in this Western European qualifiers as what looks to be on track to be another win. It just looks so good. It just looks so crisp, so solid. They're doing something a little bit new. They're doing their own style, bringing their own sort of take on the game, and it's looking a step ahead of anything else that any of the other teams are bringing, Howie.
They're looking absolutely fantastic. And this is against, like, OG, Milan talked about it, that they had 2 strategies that they revealed, the Magnus and the Alchemist. Tundra, they knew about those strategies, and they seem to have perfectly counter-strated both of them. Like, it's hard to say whether Tundra, like, they're playing so well, all their plays, it's synced up with their teammates. But I think the most impressive thing is just how well strategized they were going into this match. Terribly versus Alchemist, you know, the Wyvern versus Magnus. They had really good ideas here.
Setting up with the Moonlight. Getting in behind the tier 2 tower as well, Tundra. Skeeter will be able to finish off the tier 2 tower. Trying to turn their attention towards Fada, but Fada's more than happy for OG to go on it. Ults at the ready, Sumail forced out to the side. No tail, no false promise for 25 seconds. Sumail, he's going to need help. He's not going to get it with no ult back up on the Oracle. There's no save for Sumail. Sumail's down for 45, and that's more than enough space for Tundra to step up to the high ground. 25 minutes in, start looking to take down the tier 3 in the back. Thompson, what can he do to hold? Has he got enough firepower in him to get some kills? He will get Fada. Big stun from Saxa comes out onto the 2 of them. Snaking getting low, will get burst. OG, they will manage to hold here. They get 2 kills, and that will be enough to stop Tundra from sticking around. They'll keep their tier 3 alive, OG.
And honestly, a bit uncharacteristically sloppy by Tundra this game. 3-3 had the Alpha Wolf in the Roshan pit, and they scouted Roshan was up. I would have far preferred, instead of going for this high ground, to understand that their win condition is just this big gold lead and agents. Yeah. OG, they do a good punish, you know, a beautiful stun coming out from Saxa. But I think a lot of this game is going to come down to, can OG contest this Roshan? Because again, we've seen time and time again, this second Roshan, I think 3-3 will pick up the shard, he'll anchor smash your tower, will do no damage, and then how do you stop the high ground from coming? They're doing Roshan with 3 heroes alive only. Yeah, they don't have meta. Alright,
I mean, so they're a little hesitant. Yeah,
yeah, that's a bit too crazy.
Maybe we should be careful. Especially, as you said, after sort of maybe the missed call to try and go for the high ground. Maybe getting a little too excited about Sumail being out of the game. They did sort of opt to push on.
But now
they'll play it safe.
He's picked up his Refresher Orb, and it's such a huge item on Razor. This item has gone on... The biggest buff that this item got was the fact that BKB at its lowest charge is now 6 seconds. So if you have Refresher Orb, that's 12 seconds of magic immunity compared to 10 from before. It's a big deal. And look at Seb. He's trying to sneak into the enemy triangle just to get these tier 3 items. Did they even get all their tier 2s? They only have 3 tier 2 items at 27 minutes. They managed to pick up a couple of tier 3s, but that's rough, man. That's just sort of indicative of how much map control and pressure Tundra has put onto the OG side.
Pressure's going to continue here with this Roche falling very quickly. OG not in any place or position to put a stop to this one. So here we have it. Actually, Skeeter's going to take everything here. Well, at least the Aegis and the Shard. Make sure that he has the Zeal ready for the next move.
I can see that. I mean, Skeeter, he's been fighting without Metamorphosis like 3 fights this game, and they won all of them. Zeal's specifically good when you don't have that meta. So, you know, a little bit of logic there, maybe a little bit of a read on the game. And they're ready. They have Ravage, they have Meta, they want to go high ground here. They even have this Alpha Wolf creep and Vlad's on 3-3, giving Terrorblade an extra 48% damage.
Saxa. Force out to the side, Sumail. He's getting in on this, 33 with a cheeky aggressive force staff there, pulling Sumail towards them. Sumail.
This is still awkward in Dota.
They do at the hold, they do at the bubbles. They're slowing down the offensive here from Skeeter. Is it going to be enough? Doesn't look like it. Tier 3 still goes down. 33 stepping up, has Ravage good to go. So OG, got to be cautious how close they step towards the tide. And they can't step close enough at all to stop this damage being done. The melee racks falling pretty fast. The backdoor protection does kick in. Bubble as well. They're able to move into the bubble, continue to beat down, and OG, they're just getting torn apart by 9. He heads in with the BKB, the 2 rounds of the Eye of the Storm, and OG, they've got to step out of it. Sumail, again, getting aggressively forced in by 33. 33 playing around with Sumail each and every time he tries to step in. Now Skeeter, he's just on top of Thompson, charging down on the hard one. The Ravage comes out, catches the 4th, and again, 33, easily able to land it onto pretty much the entirety of OG's lineup. As OG, they're getting beat back towards the fountain. Thompson, only just being saved here by the false promise. He will live. Tundra, are they going to get caught on the way out? Skeeter still with an Aegis. Sumail, they're going to Fada. Borrowed time still on cooldown for 30 seconds. Saxa, another nice stun lined up onto the 3 of them. They'll kill off Fada. Sumail, charging in the Nihilism as well, and pick up the damage being dealt here to Skeeter. Skeeter, they should be able to take him down the once. Can they do it again? He's got limited backup, only 33 and snaking ready to help out. Got the stun opening. Is there anything Skeeter can do to play his way out of this one? Get the reflection out onto the 4 of them. Any further catch? Seb stunning a rev up concoction. They force him up to the high ground. Concoction's in. Another force. 33 forcing Skeeter down to the low ground. Is it enough to get him out of the reach of Saxa? It is. 33 will get Skeeter the distance he needs to get into the trees, but the Hex is there. The vision provided. The Spark Rev into the trees will allow them to get the catch. Stop Skeeter from getting out. As OG, they may have lost the racks, but they're finally able to find a fight where they will come out on top in terms of numbers.
That's a beautiful punish from OG. A little bit, you know, they're one game away from being the grand finals of the TI qualifiers. Maybe a little bit of nerves kicking in, but they went very far there. If you look at where 9 died, he died like basically where the throne is to the fountain, like perpendicular. And as soon as that Razor's dead, as soon as he's expended a refresher double BKB, I think Tundra need to realize that there's a lot of catch, there's a lot of magical damage coming in for OG. Thompson, despite his like sort of rough game, he's now finished Mjolnir. He's going to get to MKB. He is going to hurt Terrorblade a lot now.
Yeah, they're making a recovery. It's still got a bit of a way to go. But OG making sure that they're not walked over completely here by Tundra.
Ooh, look at Razor. He's going for a Nullifier next. I think that's really cool. I was in my head, I was like, he has to go for... Actually, he doesn't have Aghanims yet. I thought he would just go Aghanims. He'd just break the base. Like, the idea I had of this game was they had Arc Warden, but you have Tidehunter with Anchor Smash, which goes through the bubble, and then you have Aghanims on Razor, which also goes through the bubble. So even though you can keep laying down these defensive spells, you'll still break the base. Tundra, they have a different idea. They built Blink on Skitter and Tidehunter. They want to just jump OG and kill them so that they can't place those bubbles. It's a perfectly valid idea. Just a bit different than what I thought.
We're picking both of these up after that last fight, so might catch OG off guard. There's OG staying hidden up in the base. Tundra.
Dire's courier has
We'll get a couple of couriers on the way out here.
has been killed.
I didn't get to click on those couriers. Do you know if they had some items on them? Oh, they're jumping Sumail mid.
I don't think they had anything too important. No, I think Sumail was just trying to get it out to get the plate mail for his Shiva's guard. So not any huge items on them at the least, but we'll limit, of course, that ability for OG to really pick much up with the way that Tundra is keeping OG contained in the base.
And they pop meta here. He wants to go in.
Oh, he does. He popping the BKB. Skeeter's just charging down. He's able to force Notes out to have to false promise himself. 33 holding on for the reaction, now pops the Ravage, again catching the 4 of them. They move in 9 with a refresher, second charge, the BKB in the Eye of the Storm, runs down Notail. Notail will turn to be able to keep Sumail alive, but it'll cost Notail his life. Thompson does turn, take down 33. Thompson will win the duel this time round as he holds his ground, beats him down, but that's Seb out, 9 heads over towards Thompson, catches him trying to sneak back towards the base, and Thompson, he's out. He's 90 gold short of buyback. He's not going to have buyback available in time. They do manage to get kills elsewhere though, with Sumail and Notel running down Snaking. So despite losing Thompson here, they're able to hold once again. OG somehow finding the way to come out on top of these fights.
And Razor now has his nullifier. I think I'm seeing a bit of his idea. In that fight, Sumail, if you get an Oracle saved, he'll put his Purifying Flames on you. That actually gets purged by nullifier, so you can't heal up your ally. Also, I'm assuming the ethereal form from Nihilism can get purged. I've never really seen the interaction, but it has to be, right? Yeah. Just like a Ghost Scepter or Ethereal Blade.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just thinking, okay, all we have to do is we blink on the Leshak, we Ravage him, Nullifier him, and we burst him down. That fight was very uncoordinated from Tundra. Again, I think maybe a little bit of inexperience, but Skitter jumped in with BKB meta.
He went straight in.
Yeah, and Tidehunter's blink was on cooldown, so he couldn't follow up at the same time. When you have timings like BKB, Ravage, Metamorphosis, you want to combine your spells so the instant you commit to the fight, you're bursting enemy heroes. They still do get a lot of buybacks out from OG, but I think OG are so happy with that fight. They're constantly being given windows, and most importantly, they've come back 12,000 EXP in this game. It's a huge deal.
They're absolutely in a position where another move like that from Tundra could lead OG to really leveling the playing field. I will start to set up for the next move by the looks of it. 9. Set for 25. And they do know if they can get a hit here onto OG, Notel and Seb won't be able to buy back for a second round in the fights, and they're heading in with the smoke, see what they can find. Skeeter, he's ready to go in aggressively, jumps forward straight away. Notel having to instantly false promise himself as he attempts to force his way out of here. Saxa gets focused down by the damage of Skeeter. Saxa out for a minute, no buyback, but they're forcing him in. Nine's ready to go in even deeper onto Sumail. Sumail trying to turn with the aggression of the Nihilism. Skeeter being focused, but he's still got the Sunder. Good to go. 33's in with the Ravage, catching them all out as they try and get back towards the fountain. A buyback has to come out from Sumail. Sumail getting straight back in on Tafada. Stun, catching out Skeeter. Skeeter, he's still got a Sunder. Is he able to get it off in time? He is. Sunder snaking, gets him back a good amount of health. Refresher pop from 9, jumps straight back in over to Notel. As Notel's out for 80 seconds, 9's able to clean up with the triple, gets Thompson, turns towards Sumail, but Sumail, he's still got a lot of fuel in the tank. He's ready to get burning down the rest of them. 9, he's got to step out of here. Seb beats into snaking. Sumail jumps forward. He's able to pick up another with the blink. Triple kill, ultra kill for Sumail. As Sumail, he's holding on here for OG. The concoction over towards 33, or blink away, forced to the side. It will still connect. Sumail, he's got blink up in a second. He's not going to go looking for the tide though, but again, does cost a buyback here from Sumail, but a huge buyback indeed, as he manages to clean up the majority of Tundra one by one.
Ooh, and Tundra, it's looking a little spicy now. Like it seems like they're actually sort of throwing this game. I thought it was impossible, but this is, what is this, like 3 or 4 base dives past the tier 3s in a row? Your supports can't fall
they go
off.
in.
Yeah, they just keep going in. There's no like stopping to their aggression. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it leads to situations where, you know, you were 20k up gold, you were 30k EXP up, and now you're dead 4 heroes. Roshan, luckily for Tundra, is not spotting, because that would have been an insane swing. But my goodness, it's just, honestly, OG are just baiting them in so well and outplaying them in these fights. It's just,
now Sumail's also he's picked up the flicker. So good luck killing this Lash. Sumail, he's going to be hopping all over the shop.
it's just like that fight. Razor's 20 seconds off refresher. You know, you're ahead. You get to choose when you want to go high ground, when you want to fight. I mean, they are still in a dominant position. They're up only 8k gold now. Actually, they really close on OG. And this is against Alchemist, where you'd usually think Alchemist lineups will be ahead in gold. But still, I'm not seeing Skitter being able to right-click people into fights, which is very surprising to me. He doesn't have an MKB against Arcward, and he's opted for the sort of all-in Blink Dagger, going for the Swift Blink. If they had just played solid Dota, where they buy MKB, they get the Aghanim's on Razor, they get the Shard on Tidehunter, Siege the High Ground Solo, I guarantee this game is looking very free for them. But now, we have a real game on our hand. OG can win this game.
We do. Oh, they absolutely can. One more move from Tundra.
Roshan
sort
spawns
of
in 6
oversteps the
seconds.
mark, and it will hurt. I mean, yeah, they're so close to holding on to it. They're eyeing up Seb. They'll see the Roche back up now, but they want to head back for that. What's the move? They'll try and take some quick control back of the jungle, and they will indeed duck straight into the pit.
And this is a refresher orb. I think if Razor had egged him, you would just give it to Razor. He literally kills the tier 4s and throne in 20 seconds. But because they don't have it, I think 3-3 is just going to grab this up. It is so incredibly powerful. The double Ravage, I mean, maybe this is what they need. Just a little bit more oomph to their team fight, where they can burst heroes on Ravage and meta. But honestly, I'm really concerned how they've dove base. OG has straight up outplayed them. Despite being 20k net worth behind, despite being 30k EXP. They understand exactly how to take these fights. They take it kitey, and they don't even throw their burst right away. They save it, and as soon as Skitter's BKB is down, he gets hit by Nihilism, Finger, some Leshrac stun. He's hit like 3 times by the Split Earth Leshrac shard this game, just completely ruining his team fight, and just really impressed with the base defense.
Well, so they can still play into this timing, but we have about 2 minutes left where Notail, Seb, and Samael, by a good few minutes, will not have buyback available. Tundra, they want to try and hit hard with that. They do indeed pick him up outside of the base. Saxa himself has got buyback. I mean, even Thompson, to be fair, buyback's off cooldown, but again, just fully investing, so will not have the money to return. So a core death here could lead to Tundra having the space to close this game up. They've got to be careful, OG. Samael. Feeling confident to jump in onto Skeeter with the backup that he has from Notail.
And Thompson, he's really starting to hurt. He's going for the Daedalus now. He's doing a lot of damage. Look at Skitter. He might have to sunder.
He's going to have to think hard about it. Has indeed had to step up sunder the Wraith here. The double. Tier 3, and it's gone. So second set of racks now exposed. Tundra. They're going to head in aggressively. Skeeter, straight up, popping the Metamorphosis. OG, what have they got? They're coming with some good defensive before. The 33's in! Straight on the back lines, finds the Ravage onto the 3 of them. They take out Notail. That's Notail out. No buyback. Samael, he's not got his Oracle. He's not got his save. As that's Samael down. 2 minutes. Saxa gone as well. There'll be a buyback from Saxa. But no Samael, no Notail, with the buyback still on cooldown.
Thompson's doing a lot of damage.
He's got to do some heavy carrying here. He certainly is. Skitter getting low, but Skitter, he looks to jump back in aggressively. Sunder onto Seb. Skitter's up to full HP. Still has the Aegis and the BKB ready to pop Skitter. Saxa lines up the stun, but the reach is there. 33 and 9 jumping on top of him. There's 3 dead on OG. No buybacks available as Tundra, at the least, will be able to get the mega creeps. Maybe even the game itself as well. Thompson and Seb. What can they do here, the two of them? Double getting caught out by the arrow. 33 able to force the double outside of the bubble so they can take it out. You'll set him onto Thompson as they close in upon him. Thompson is trying to stand his ground, forced out to the side, but they've got the damage, they've got the chase. Thompson is out. 4 dead on OG. They've got fortification to rely on. Notail's back up in 5. But without 2 cores for more than a minute, what sort of miracle can OG achieve here? Seb is trying to head forward. False promise out for Notail. It's keeping Seb alive, but Tundra, they're just focusing the objectives here. Fada and Skeeter looking to close it up onto the tier 4s. Buyback finally comes up for Thompson. He's back in, but Seb's out. Notail as well, only just surviving it back in the base. They're popping the BKBs. Tundra, they're actually going to ignore the H. They want to get more kills out of this. They take out the double. Thompson, can he hold the base here? The final tier 4 starting to fall. Skeeter jumps in straight away on a Thompson. Thompson, he's out of the game for good. As that'll be it. No more backup here for OG as Tundra, they'll claim the victory. GG called by OG as Tundra will take this series 2-0 and they've secured themselves a ticket to the grand final here at the Western European qualifiers.
And in what convincing fashion too. Who would have expected Tundra coming into today to just, I mean honestly, a little bit sloppy at the end there from Tundra, but I think we can call these two pretty big stomps, right? Like outstratted, outplayed, everything coming off from Tundra. They look absolutely fantastic. OG, it didn't really look like they knew what to do against Tundra's game plan.
No, for sure. I mean, they were, as we said, able to pick up some sort of turnaround, at least the start of a turnaround maybe in the later stages of the game, but the lead that Tundra had, I mean, it just goes to show, if anything, how much of a solid hold Tundra had from the off, that they could sort of make what those 3 little overextensions, dives, poking buybacks out here and there from OG, and it didn't matter. You know, still when it came down to that final fight with the strength that Tundra had amassed, it was too much. And yeah, as I say, Tundra now straight up into the best of 5 grand finals. And Owie, it's going to be spicy down in that lower bracket. We've got OG, Liquid, and Nigma fighting for not a spot at TI, but a spot in the finals to play for a spot at TI, Owie.
And it's terrifying. Like, look at those teams. Anyone throughout the entire DPC, they're like, oh, these teams are going to be at TI. They're not even going to all be in the finals of the qualifier for TI. It's crazy. And again, I just want to say, like, props to Tundra. That was a fantastic series coming out from them.
Yeah. No, it really was a real pleasure to see. I think they're definitely getting a lot of fans on the way. People excited to see what ideas Tundra continues to bring to the game. Some smart stuff and very impressive things to break down, as we'll let the panel do so indeed. As there we go, ladies and gentlemen, Tundra, the series is theirs. 2-0 against OG.